Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. 2 o'clock on quite the afternoon here. A lot to talk about, a lot to keep an eye on this afternoon as we head into the final 2 hours of the day. This Google I/O event still happening. A lot of new features coming to Gemini specifically. It's mostly been about AI. There's a whole bunch of new features, including an absolutely mind-blowing assistant. I was watching this video that they came out with, Astra. I think it's called Project Astra, where you can actually use your phone or the camera on your phone to have a conversation in real time, essentially, with Google's Gemini. So absolutely amazing. So lots of things to discuss as far as Google is concerned, and Alphabet, we'll get there in a second. That's $1 right now. I wanted to mention this because Frank Caberna coming up this afternoon. We'll get his take on what Captain Powell said this morning in regards to the next move not being up, which means it's either not going to do anything or go down, right? So overall, the market liking that. So dollar downside, yields back downside in a pretty good way. GameStop back downside here right out of the gate this morning and pretty much all day long. Breaks 40 briefly, touches 35. We're trying to get back to the upside right now, but what a day it's been for the meme stock mania back in full swing here. As far as individual names, the list, as we were saying this morning, a very, very long list of individual names all over the place, volume through the roof on this as well. I mean, that's an S&P 500. None of which are going to appear on that list. But it's worth noting, a lot of strength in banks today, along with tech back to the upside, Google specifically. Nice move on this AI announcement today. Oracle as well, 2.8%. Everything else in that group to the downside. That's the start of the event, essentially, where they announced this updated version of Gemini with all these brand new features. Very, very cool tech. Coming from not only the search side of things, but with this Astra. I don't even think this Astra technology is out yet. It was just a demo that they released, but really, really cool. If you can get to a point where that is in, I mean, I was even saying in your glasses and you can just walk around having a conversation with Gemini all day. Crazy stuff. Anyway, let's touch on positions first, maybe, guys. Neil is away at an appointment, so OB in this afternoon. Give us an update here, guys, on what's happening.
Yo, what's up, Obi? Yeah, great to have you here. Thank you for filling in for Mr. Roberts. But yeah, a quick little update on some positions. I mean, I don't know if you traded any meme stuff today or not, but I've made 200, hold on a second. I've made 189 fills on AMC and just 20 on GameStop.
Nice.
So a lot of fills here today, back, forth, and around, and we'll discuss all these. Couple of halts in the middle of the day. We actually got a video, I guess Fabian's probably editing it. That's going to be out soon about some of these meme stocks going nuts, but a bunch of halts in here on AMC as we zoom in. They're right there on the midday. Look at all these gaps. So many. I don't even know what the halt counter's at, but we're going to stay short right now into many of these names. It's been a huge run up. We had a huge move back in today, down about 50% or more. I mean, the high was 13. You're at $6, $7. So yeah, I guess a little less than 50. And the same thing on GME. This one for me, unfortunately on the short side, was an absolute monster. We shorted here 50. I mean, these are real trades, man. We were long in here at 50, lost on that. Then we found this top, shorted against 55, took out something down there at 41, so that was a $14, $15 winner. Then reshorted again, and that's what we have right now. The short in GameStop. We should have just covered some at 40. Let's put a bid down there in case we can get it. But yeah, I'm just short for now. I feel like there could be another run coming this afternoon. To be honest with you, the way these things move in the aftermarket it can really entice people to maybe hold something into the close and then see what happens there. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some accumulation of shares here into the close, but for right now, we'll stay short. My target out is 46. So the minute we break 46, we'll get out of this one.
Yeah, no, I saw that you had some banger shorts there on GME. You were talking about it earlier. I haven't really dabbled in the AMC or GME, but I guess if you want to call NVAX one of the
of
group,
course.
it's
Yeah,
part
good
of
one,
it.
yeah.
I did have a couple trades in the morning. Nothing too crazy. I was looking for the moon, and the moon never really came. But yeah, no, it took a little bit of a dabble here. Got long in and around some of these pre-market levels. Tried to chase into that 15. That 15 never really came here on the chart. And yeah, kind of was expecting that 15 to come in. Doesn't really come in on the second push up on NVAX here. And yeah, that's where I kind of left it alone. Nothing too crazy there. But yeah, no, I'm just kind of taking it easy. Nothing too aggressive on my part. And yeah, yesterday I was watching as well, kind of letting the memes kind of run. Not really involved right now, but yeah, we'll see what we have in store going forward. But yeah, you're right about kind of people expecting it running into the close. We thought that yesterday might have been the full move, and then coming in, even overnight, it was already pushing. In the pre-market, we pushed double topped 80 on GME. That was pretty wild. And yeah, meme season is definitely back, Sean.
Yeah, but it's definitely back. I just feel like we should be. See, the problem is I'm short because I'm kind of like biased short, but there shouldn't really be that because I really think these things can run from now. So like AMC, we're almost out of everything. I'm just going to cover everything I think right now. 650. I feel like it's really basing. I'd rather be long than short. I feel like right now in all these names, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, we might switch it up, but we just did take some more Amazon up here at 186. So it's funny because we'll short Amazon and GME. It's like we don't really are biased to anything here, just trying to trade setups. So right into here, we are at the highs right now for Amazon. It's worked going short before into some of these levels from yesterday. That's yesterday's close. So we're almost out. If this runs 75, we'll be out of this one. So far so good here. Let's start to empty out a little bit. We're back in here to the 50 period on AMC. So we'll see if we can get something out right now at 85. Why not? And then think about the move now moving forward, possibly to the long side for some of these meme stocks.
All right, let's talk about BOVA earnings. Downside, pretty ugly candle forming here on the daily chart. Reversal taking out 2 or 3 days worth of price action. It was downside out of the gate this morning, huge gap in the pre-market, and then a lot of continuation right out of the gate. We were wondering if this was going to get much attention, and not great here for BOVA today.
No, not 7%. And it wasn't helped by the Biden administration coming out overnight and saying that they're going to increase tariffs on so many different things, solar panels, et cetera, maybe things that BOVA sells. But it was really the earnings report that sent this really down here, Brendo. They beat on revenue. They missed big on earnings. Profit down 86% year over year.
Yeah. Any opportunities here, guys? I mean, I know everything was focused elsewhere.
BOVA, yeah. See, I didn't even look. I mean, I didn't even look at Alibaba today, to be honest with you. Yeah, this morning, down below 78. Okay, down 7% now. Okay, how low are we at the low of the day? Wow, we were down pretty bad there. The fact that we're back to 79 and still down 7%, yuck for Alibaba today. Yeah, not great earnings. The only thing that we said was play it back to VWAP, and it looks like that was pre-market. So right there, yeah. So you did have an opportunity to short this. Right there at VWAP, it's the trade that we like. Continuously making these kind of trades is good. Wait for VWAP pullbacks. So I feel like that's true. Nice move down for Alibaba. I mean, on the daily chart, it's been really a good stock. You know, call it like it is. It's broken out. It's held above the $78, $79 range. I told Neil today, because he was buying it up here 80s. He wanted to wait for an 80 break. So he was saying, we talked about it in the pre-market. I don't know. I don't remember the exact price, 81 and change. But either way, it's not in that much trouble. But I would still rather wait for down here now. We've broken back below the 200 period. It's not a great report. Could easily fall back into 74, 75. So for me today, for Alibaba, I'd rather be short. But look what this market's doing. Starting to get back up to the upside again. So, hey, the short's going to be right for Alibaba, but I don't think it's going to be right for a long time. The next time it breaks above 80, I want it to be on that sticky note as a trade long. So Alibaba, long break above 80 won't happen today. And if it dips into like 75-ish, then I want to add more dollar cost average that for the long term. So that's kind of my plan there. We did just take some, we're almost out of everything now of AMC. I feel like we should just do that. Let's just bid it out right there. Now we're out. So we are now out of AMC. We made some money back on the short. And then GameStop, we talked about getting out of this and we just should have done that. So I feel like this is going to run 46, and when it does, we could probably blast higher. So watch out here. A nice move back upside for GME. Out of AMC, just waiting for things to settle down right now. But did you have Anything on China's side?
Not really. Like I did have Baba as one of the top earnings names, because it was one of the only ones really that I kind of thought may or may not have a move. But yeah, with kind of the meme stocks in play, I was like, there are definitely kind of better names potentially to look at. But yeah, Baba did have quite a nice move off of the open, kind of maintaining that trend we saw off the earnings report in the morning, trading below VWAP. It attempts to get above VWAP in the pre-market off of a strong little bottom wick there, but can't really make it, consolidates, and then flushes down, carries that trend back through off of the open there, making a low of 77.70s, and then pretty much just going sideways underneath VWAP for the most part there. But yeah, taking a quick look left, let's see if there's anything of concern there potentially, but I don't really see too much. But yeah, I was looking at Yin, which is the China long ETF.
Yep.
And we've been gapping up for the past few days. You can see that going into earnings. You can see it on Baba as well. Bit of a move up, and then the day before earnings eve, nice little gap up, and then consolidation there. We pretty much fail all of yesterday's prices, all in the pre-market there. So maybe that could have potentially given us a direction in the pre-market, kind of looking back at it. But again, in retrospect, everything looks pretty clean. So.
All right, let's talk Google here. Back downside right now. It just came off $2 or so, or $1.50 anyways, back to the downside after that nice run up. During the event, I'll double check, maybe we wrapped up, Google I.O., but so much coming from this, absolutely mind-blowing on the AI side of things, if you missed it. They launched this, or teased anyways, this new Astra product, which is essentially, from what it looked like, a conversational mode of Gemini where you can use your camera on your phone to just walk around and show it different things, ask questions. At one point, the demonstrator walked up to someone who was coding on a computer and just showed them the code with her phone and said, "What does this code do?"
And it knew.
And it explained what the code do. And then she stuck the phone out the window and said, "Where am I?"
That's the one.
And Gemini said, "You are in such and such neighborhood of London," and
Exactly.
it's crazy, absolutely crazy. So lots of cool stuff.
It's super interesting here because Google owns this data, the map data. That's it. It sends its cars out. It captures all the pictures, so they own that. Not a lot of other people have that. That's the thing. So this is going to be very interesting for Google because we saw yesterday on the OpenAI event, there was conversational back and forth between ChatGPT or whatever, 4.0 or whatever it's called, and you can interrupt it. It can analyze code for you. So there was overlaps there. But this informational aspect here, Brendo, that Google owns, I think that puts them in pole position.
Yeah, she was working on like a problem on a whiteboard and had it in some sort of glasses type of product, where she could still write on the whiteboard and still ask it questions in real time about an equation or something that was on. That's so interesting. Technology.
I mean, there's a reason why, we talked about this earlier. I mean, we wrote it right on here, long Google. It's just that they had that event. We knew that they were the king of AI. I mean, a lot of people will come through. Obviously, Chat and Microsoft beat them to it. I mean, who knows who the king actually is, but probably NVIDIA, right? At the end of the day, Google's going to come up with some great products, and this is exactly, they kind of smart doing this because now when Apple does it, it'll be like, okay, yeah, we've seen that with Gemini, right? But you remember one thing that we can't forget about, and I think it's important, is that Google and Apple, I think it was, I don't know, couple months ago, there was that report that maybe Apple was looking into getting Gemini into their series. So that's something for sure that I think could even be announced. And it's just kind of cool that Google's showing it off now. But then if that happens to Apple and they can somehow bring that into their universe, I just think that the sky's the limit for both of these companies. Apple, you know, they have Chrome on the iPhones, works perfectly fine. Every single thing, Apple, I mean, Gmail, everything you want is the same. So, I mean, the camera obviously is going to help you with some of these depictions of all that. I mean, I think that's, Brendan mentioned it before, the fact that you can look at something and it tell you, and Sharif said that's the thing, that's to me is the thing. Like when you're traveling around, if you can get that technology into some sort of sunglass or something like that, or even your phone. We all have phones. So like hold it up like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's the CN Tower. And it just spits out when it was built, you know, anything, maybe the price of admission. Like it just takes away so many other like nonsensical, timeless things that just like, it takes us time to do these things. and now all of a sudden everything just gets done so much quicker. The fact that it could see what that was coding, I mean, that's a little, like I almost want to hold it up to this Google chart right now and be like, tell me to go short or
Where's the
like,
next trade?
here's the chart. What is the next trade right now? And then I can just blame it when it's wrong. I don't have to be responsible for it. But no, oh, by the way, all of you completely right there. I mean, we had thought that this this GME was starting to ramp up there. So we got out at 46. So there's the 46 break. The only stupid problem is I tried to go long. So we tried to put 2 orders in, which is why we have these 2 marks, short and then long again, but we didn't fire off into the long. So we got out at 46. It was a good break. We got out at 46.30. So a little bit of slippage there, but at the end of the day, missed that opportunity. Now we're halted back to the upside on GME. So far, so good there on that move northbound for those of you that sat there and took some of these fills. I mean, great trading down there to go long near $40 for GameStop. So right into the 50-period moving average. This is why we called that's not why we went short. It's why we called $41 right down into here. We were pretty much dead on if you're looking at longer candles, but we did swoop down into 36, which must have been scary for all the longs. So if you guys are able to hold that, that's great. But here we go. We are going to be opened back up on a halt soon in a couple minutes. And then AMC as well. Good thing we got out of that as well, because that goes back up to the upside. I'm ready to reload some of these longs, but it's got to get back into like 650, I think, here. And then GME, it's in halt state now. It's going to open back up, and then we'll see where it goes. High of day. High of open market, 70, or wait, where is the high of today when we opened up? Right there. People are just asking in the chat, high a day. 65? Yeah, I mean, possible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, a breakthrough 50, I think, looks good. I was trying to wait for pullbacks on this, like this 50 period. Maybe we're going to open up right now. Let's just see where this opens up. Let's just stay here for 1 second. I know we have Frank today, right? Okay, let's just wait. This is going to open up in 1 second. Whenever it unhalts like that, it's like 20-second countdown to get orders in, and then it'll start to blast off. So GME right here on the halt. Let me just see exactly 13. 13. Now we still got another minute. All right, let's go back over there, and then we'll get to the next story. The GME will probably open up. You want to talk a little bit about Google?
Sure. I mean, it didn't really do too much with during the event there. It kind of just chopped around that VWAP, but something interesting to me, just the buildup of the shake and bake that we had last week on Friday, where I think it was Sam Altman coming out saying that, oh no, we're not going to have a search engine, and it just rips right through, gaps down the next day, and then coming into today's event, you have a strong bid on Monday, just grinding up into the close, and then today you get a little bit of a consolidation. Now we're pushing up near those highs. So definitely interesting. Let's see if this move can kind of continue. This reference price of this kind of shake and bake here, we are holding above that as of right now, and kind of these post-earnings highs here being at that 181, and then day one kind of at that 172 as well. So let's see if we can kind of push up into these. But yeah, this new AI tech is absolutely amazing. It's
crazy, right?
Absolutely wild. Yeah, it's like, what do they say at the chat event yesterday? Almost magical.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not far from being. I think that's magical.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on quickly. Just GameStop is now open, so that was a good little one right there. 47 and a quarter. So it basically opens where it halts. That halted at 47.50 or so. That's roughly where we are right now. 47 resumed off that halt. It looks like it wants to go short side now. GameStop for now pulling back off that initial. There, wow! Just spiked $1 right there. Someone just marketed in like a lot of shares right there. Whoa, I got long there. Okay, I got to address this. That's a mistake. All right, let's get out of this, as we did not mean to be in on this, but we're now, well, actually we did. So remember I said that we wanted a 46 break?
Yeah.
That's my order. So now you guys can say hand to God that I'm not lying.
Nice.
I didn't even realize I had that. I realized I put it in there, but remember I was like, it didn't fill. So it does come back in and fill. So, hey, this is a winner now. We have $1.50 in the money. This is part of that trade that we wanted on the 46 break. So we just actually get it on a reopen right now. And now let's spin it. Now we're happy. Now the apes are back in the building because now we're long. So I don't have to look at the chat and be like, Sean is a suit because he's short. GameStop. This guy works for Citadel. Report. This guy worked for Citadel back here, Randy.
Randy, you got to let us know.
All right, we'll touch on Beyond Meat here. I mean, it's those are the two that matter today, GameStop and AMC. We were touching on Beyond Meat, also gapping up here in the pre-market this morning to the tune of more than 10%. Ends up being kind of a choppy back and forth type of day, back at 9 right now, but volume-wise, kind of peaked out at $10 there, and that was it.
Yeah, Breno, this one had a lot of trouble with 10. It tried to take 10, couldn't take it on a closing basis, and it basically sold off after that. 40% of the float is shorted, so we were looking for a possible squeeze here. This one reported Q1 earnings not long ago, and they did already drop 18% at the time, so it was already down and out, I guess. We'll have to see what the rest of the day brings and tomorrow brings for it.
Yeah, kind of rolling over right now, but focus clearly elsewhere.
Focus where?
Beyond.
What?
Beyond.
Huh? I know, it's just a joke. I heard it. The reason why I was joking there is because, yeah, the more we talk about other stocks, the more we get distracted with these GameStops, because right now we're $3 in the money on this. And I just said to Obi that this was just, it's the reason why that was our stop and our go long is because this is the breaking spot right here. So that's the jump back up. So we get stopped out there, and then going long on that stop out got filled right off the halt. So that was a good one, right back up to the upside. I mean, we could get to 54 where we shorted before. So again, here comes a nice little pullback in. I think we're going to use that same level as a warning spot for us. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use that as our potential out now. 46 or so as a back outside there. Anything on Beyond Meat that you've seen here today?
Nothing really. Like, I guess it wasn't really part of my focus, but something interesting to note, just looking at the chart right away, is that after earnings, it has that dump down into that 7 level, and then it holds that for 2 days, including that pre-market session on earnings day. It kind of steps up, and then you get that grind up into higher levels here, pushing into that 10. Now, I don't remember if Beyond was SPAC or not. But it seems like, again, the 10's an interesting level. So. Yeah, I don't remember quite well, but yeah, it's okay. So 10, it's having a little bit of resistance at that 10 level here, pulling back off of it, but nothing too crazy. Didn't really have it on too strong of a watch today, but you can see that just looking back at it, every time it does kind of have these pops, kind of bit of a fader, bit of a repeat offender there on that move.
I just want to say, here's, so this was me just during lunch. I put on my suit and I went over to the Citadel offices and I started drinking a lot, and I met my wife there. So there is me in a suit. Thank you, Henry Chung. I forgot about that one there. So I do wear suits every once in a while, but maybe I only own one suit. So I got to be careful with that one. But all right, here we come right back down into the downside right now with GME coming in here, 47 and change. So it looks like that run up halts at stops, not halts, at 50. We better put our stop in. Now we're breaking lower here, breaking back down through $46. This could be a good reload spot. I think I'm going to try the reload right now. Let's punch a little bit long, but watch out for 40. What is this level right here? This is, I think, where we really want. Because you can't, I mean, exact stops in this is pretty tough. Let's just try 44. Honestly, if we wind up losing on this, we're long at 46. I'm pretty happy with it. We just held it $4 up. So $2 back down to be wrong is going to suck for sure. But let's just see if we can get a little bit of a bounce spot here. Average back in, down near 45, and then watch out for that 44 break. We're here to trade, so let's do that. We're long right now, GameStop, and sort of putting them on the table a little bit here to see what we can do. Oh, no. Now it's going to halt to the downside. All right, you know what? I'll just hold out on this. We could probably get out right now if we put something on the offer, but I'm going to wait. Let's see if we halt, but then go up. You know, that could be a possibility there. We just averaged back into it right there, Obi. We got about this price. GameStop right now moving around, down back into the downside, 225. AMC also liking that halt move as they're pushing back down. Yeah. All right, this is going to be a very exciting close for sure because, yeah, I'm in this now. I don't have any stops. I got to get that all figured out as we speak. The one trade that I missed, though, we talked about NVIDIA. No, we did not, but NVIDIA on here, just wick that top. You see that wick top there, 915? That's something. created this little move down. Look at the move down. 6 or 7 straight down minutes with nothing happening in the futures based on sort of an exhaustion candle back up there to the upside. So let's wait to see what happens with NVIDIA. It's only $2 off its high, looking to go longer there too. NVIDIA trying to go higher through 916. So, oh man, yeah, what's up, Riviere Millionaire? That's the problem. It's kind of like he says in the chat, just hold all day, hold into the close. I just not programmed like that. Yeah, like there it is. What's up, Holo Sheet? Holy Sheet. Oh, that's a good one. Holy Sheet. I like that. Right there, risk management, trading memes at its finest. Yeah, I mean, we're up trading these memes today, but a lot of that is just because of risk management. But risk management also takes you out of winners too. Like, you know, that's part of the problem. Like, if I manage this all the way down to 44, you know, if I'm holding it all day, we may come back in and then start to rip up again, and they're going to look silly getting out there. So at some points, you got to risk manage, and at some points, you got to say, hey, enough is enough. And, you know, I've hit my daily loss limit or my daily goal, and it's time just to relax. Because if you were like YOLOing this all day, I mean, the problem is the pre-market was real nasty for longs because you just would have got trapped. It was great to be long. But to be holding it into the open, you all of a sudden just march down, then you got halts down, Obi, and then eventually we found a level that held. So that's kind of where we are right now. So it's actually trading a little more calm right now, so I feel pretty comfortable, but I'm going to watch out for that 44 break there. So
I feel like a lot of that long move kind of happened in the morning.
Yeah.
And a lot of that like FOMO longs kind of come in off of the open and then looking for that same move because like went from like $30 yesterday to 80 in the morning, double tops 80, makes lower highs, coming off the open. I think there's just one party that's offside if it really starts to dump, and yeah, it's pretty wild move there.
And that's what we talked about when we did that. What is it, sugar, honey? Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. Sugar, honey, iced tea, I like that one. Put those first letters in for that, sugar, honey, iced tea.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Ty. But no, the thing about all of this is that you just have to be very, very...
Not Ty.
Oh, that's Rob.
That's Rob.
What am I even doing? Ty sits there, so when he passed it back, I'm like, all right, what was I talking about? Thanks, Rob. Sorry about that. You have very nice. Rob has very nice printing there. I mean, that's okay. Anyways, let's go back and talk about plug before I get messed up even more.
Wasn't natural. Yeah. Yeah. We'll touch on plug here. You were just saying that it was the best day in how long?
7 years.
7 years for Plug Power, and then it wasn't. Yeah. So, I mean, it depends on when you read the article, but yeah, huge move. It actually traded up to $5 early on this morning. Comes all the way back to 350 right now, but I mean, still 20+% here.
Yeah, not a bad look. I mean, until this morning, it was down 36% year to date. Now down 21% year to date. They did get $1.66 billion from the federal government to kind of move forward with their hydrolyzer project. They have multiple areas in the United States that they're doing this hydrogen fuel cell experiment at. So we'll have to see how it does. You know, they've been on the receiving end of money, and you mentioned it this morning. The fact that their market cap prior to the day was 1.8 billion, and they got 1.66. So
nuts. Just give them the company again. But hey, all in the name of a better environment, potentially here. So yeah, I mean, $5, if you zoom out a little bit, we were talking about that range on the daily chart. It took back that entire range to that gap day and then comes right back down.
All right, people talking about Roaring Kitty again. Okay.
Boy, the legend is back.
The legend was back yesterday. Yeah, I remember he was like so
pump.
chilled out in his chair.
What power. Yeah.
Leaned in.
Epic. Have you seen the meme before that?
No.
Oh, it's like a classic.
He did one before?
gamer.
I thought that was...
No. I mean that specific meme.
Someone else, yeah. Who else tweeted that? It was a gamer? What was that? Because I feel like
it's just like a gaming. It's like a gaming thing.
Oh, it's a gaming thing.
Yeah, it's a gaming thing.
Okay,
It's just like, you know, when
Boomer,
you're like when you focus, when you're relaxed and you're gaming, you're kind of like laid back or whatever, and then when things start to get real, you're like, oh, sugar honey iced tea.
Right.
That's when you're kind of like, you know. You
I feel like we do that as traders.
Yeah, definitely. You can see.
You can see me. I'm like, okay, Obi, here we go. We're starting to get going.
Hunched over. Yeah, for sure. Adds like plus 10 focus. You know, you kind of want that. Maybe maybe
Plus
helping
10,
with.
yeah, plus, is that the most you can get? I mean, I want to get plus whatever, man. Get some Adderall up in here. No, $46. Let's just see what happens. We just opened back up here on GME. So halt was really a nothing burger. We just talked about Beyond Meat. So right there, let's just see what winds up happening now, as it's going to have to now move for another $4 to halt. So either it gets down into that 41-ish area or back up through 50 immediately. That's what would cause a halt. If we get anywhere near that 50, like this 200 period where we sort of halted, where we stopped last time right there, feel like these are some decent outs. 48, because we averaged in again, right? So we'll just hold this against ourselves a little bit there on GME again. What we're doing is playing the gap fill. So we're playing that gap fill right there. Let's go. You can see where we're long. We're long at 46. So let me put an offer at 50. I don't know if it gets there, obviously. I don't know if it gets there, but we'll put an offer, see if it does, only to get out of half of our position. Let's see this thing go up. We just held it against ourselves about $1.50-ish back down there. So again, 47.50 would make sense for a 1-to-1. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a push there. You know what? Let me just put it at 49 now that I consider the ratios. But remember, things get thrown out the window when you're talking about meme stocks, because you just want to sort of trade. Yeah, part of this is trading the momentum, right? It's like the levels are going to be what they are, but it's not like VWAP is going to matter that much. I mean, how many traders that are actually trading this are going to be like, okay, well, I think I'm going to get short in front of VWAP right now. I mean, I just don't know if that's the right strategy. You want to play the momentum in the name. So here we go back up to the upside. That was a really good hold. On this move, and I want to thank everybody for getting me right there, we covered our short and we went long. So right now, maybe we get a little bit of a bump back up to the upside. Obi, it is now almost $2 right here in the money.
Nice.
So there's a $2 pushback for GME. That's a decent trade. All right, you know what? I'm taking this. I'm going to take a piece right now, just because it's right at the, and I just said that, why are we even looking at lines right now? But don't tell me because I said that it's going to bounce off the 200 period. All right, well, we just had Obi $2 in the money. Now it is almost flat. Yep. So there you go. That's kind of a retracement there. So yeah, let's be a little more, maybe a little more cautious with our trading and take a $2 winner next time we have it. So we'll put an order there and maybe we can get that. That is what it is right there. Movie posts by Kitty equals AMC, says Arturo. Well, I mean, yeah, I talked about that earlier this morning with Neil. I was like, I told him, why do you think I'm in AMC? I mean, I came in here very first thing early, and AMC was literally in the pre-market. These are 8:30 fills down here at $10. That fill right there is 12. We already took 220 on this thing. That this is when we sort of lost our way, as it was like halting, not halting at 10 o'clock, all that. Then we finally had a short, and we've really left it alone since then. Here we go, back up, GME 47 and change. Let's get higher now. Come on, GameStop. Honestly, I don't know, Obi.
There goes Softy through its highs.
Yeah, we should just get back to trading
right
that
now.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been kind of looking for the next trade at, because like in the morning, that's when kind of we had that strong volatility, strong volume, and the volume's kind of dissipated for the most part here. But again, it seems like the market really likes that PPI number from the morning. We kind of, oh boy, yesterday for sure. That was at 18,150. Nice little wick action off of that PPI number in the morning, and we've only kind of been, I guess, overall bidding up. Now we're pushing fresh highs there. So let's take a quick look at, yeah, I got NVDA here. I did take a short on NVDL earlier in and around this 912 test. Let's see how that's kind of going right now. Let me pull up NVDL real quick.
Going down here. Boy.
If I can have that.
Why are we not in Palantir?
NVDLQ, NVDL, and if that'll pull up right here. Okay, so it's a good thing we got out where we did, because we've only been bidding up higher since then. So I was like, okay, yeah, with 912, maybe a little bit of resistance here, just coming back through that previous day high. Doesn't really get too far. I think that's not VWAP, but kind of holds in and around VWAP. You can see the VWAP here on NVDL, hovers above it. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe I won't get that reversion back into that VWAP just yet, and it's a good thing that we got out of that one, as a lot of the market very, very strong. You can see the NQ and the ES both pushing fresh highs here, and I was talking about Softy as well. Softy, look at that V-shaped recovery, Sean. Oh boy, is that a wild one?
Oh boy.
We got a bit of a reversion yesterday as well. That kind of a quadunk off of the open, 50% reversion, and it seems like that's kind of the channel right now. It would seem.
Oh yeah.
Between 415 and 410-ish right now, and we're pushing right back up into the upper part of this channel. So let's see. This was yesterday's high. Quite an aggressive sell-off off of the open there, and then buyers kind of take it up into this level here. Can't really get past that in the morning as well, and now we kind of just slowly grind right back up into that 415. So let's see what we got going on here with these futures pushing up into fresh highs as well. People talking about TUP, Tupperware. Have you looked at Tupperware today? I know a lot of these heavily shorted names are definitely moving around. I don't know if I have any trades on them necessarily. I don't know if my playbook really sets up with some of these moves here, but it's still, I'm still like learning, still trying to figure it out.
There, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely a decent short float on Tupperware, above 20% if I remember correctly.
24.
24%. Yeah, so 24% on Tupperware. Again, started running yesterday with with the meme season coming in there, and yeah, pushing fresh highs off of the open. But similar to some of the other meme names, it is visiting some of its lows there, pre-market lows as well. 180 on Tupperware, doing a decent amount of volume, I think, as well today. Yeah, 20 million on when the average volume is about 2.4. So yeah, almost 10x in terms of relative volume on the day happening on Tupperware. I know there's a lot of other names, meme names as well. Again, if you kind of sort, if you pull up a scanner for like a 25% short float or a 30% short float, you can see there's like, if you pull up 25, which I did last night, it's over 60 names that are shorted over 25%. And I was like, maybe that's too many names. So I did 30%, and it's like less than 20. I'm like, all right, cool. That is something that we can probably manage a little bit better there. But yeah, SPWR, another name as well, kind of top of the list there. I think this one quite heavily shorted as well. And you can see continuation move in the pre-market goes from 3 to 7.5. So almost, well, over 100% move there, 150% happening on SunPower. But then again, kind of comes right back in off of the open and sells off towards some of these consolidation lows. That last one as well. You know, this one's shorted like 75% hollow.
Oh,
this one has a 75% short flow. Absolutely crazy. It goes from 2 to 4. So we're seeing a similar kind of thing here. Things moving up around in and around 100% in the pre-market session, and then just flushing most, if not all, of their gains in the open session there. So maybe a little bit of a chase to look for that long right off of the open. Got to see what we do, but. Yeah, I think if we sustain some of these levels there, we're not out of this mess just yet. I think we're still holding some of these key levels from previous day on both AMC and GME. GME 50 is kind of nice. 50 is definitely interesting to me. If you look back on GME, let's take a look at the daily chart here. So this is again a split adjusted price. This was that wick high that took us to above that 500 mark in 2021, and you can see in and around this $50 level, again, split adjusted, there is a lot of interest. We kind of popped there from 20 to 50, from 20 to 50 a couple times, kind of chop and churned before kind of fading off as well. So a lot of interest in and around some of these levels. Let's see if we can hold some of these levels, if we can get another leg up off of this. I have no idea, but again, interesting levels indeed. A lot of swing shorts, swing shorts kind of maybe in panic mode on a lot of these tickers that are heavily shorted, and maybe they were looking for that zero to come in, and oh boy, did it not with this wildness. Again, legend is back. Hello, not Hello Kitty. Roaring Kitty.
Roaring.
Roaring Kitty is back.
It seems more like a Hello Kitty today, maybe. But so we just good one there, Obi. So we get out there at the 200 period out of half of our position, but we still want to hold this for the ride. GameStop. So I mean, let's just go. Let's just do a little bit of face slap. That was a good trade there. What we lost, we sort of made back on this long, but we want this thing to go. So I think it can. I think into the close, GameStop has this great opportunity. I mean, we just bounced again off $46. You know, there's this gap fill here that we've sort of been buying. It was the break there, so we got out. So this was the halt. We got out of a part on halt. We always do that. Then it fell back in, and then we got greedy. We should have taken some of this at 40. Was thinking that we were going to come back up to the upside. We didn't, and then we came back on the air, and it was right here. We could have got out. We should have. And now we're just trying to respect like this 44 area to see about a flush back through there in order to get us out of this position. So we want to get more long at the same time as, you know, be somewhat responsible with what we're doing. We're still $1 in the money on AMD. This was, again, went from an absolutely, not destroyed, but remember I was like, oh man, I wish we never traded AMD, to now it being in positive stock. And we really did good here, shorting this 153.50. Again, I don't know if I can show you anything about this, but when we make a straight move up to there, and then let me see if I can just, I can't really zoom anymore, but maybe I just push it over. So these are yesterday's highs. So I was just like, let's go short into yesterday's highs. So we did that, and the rest is history on those trades. So we're pretty happy being able to do that. But again, nice move into 153.50 back down. That's a 152, so that's about $1.50 as we hold on to a very, very small piece. And then I'm just like, I'm not obsessed or anything, but like really watching this GME and AMC. AMC's not doing anything. I think a break of this 750 maybe gets us going. We let it go last time and then just reacted to this huge move by shorting it. I would love for a move to come in here, not because if people are long now. If AMC falls to $6, we'll lose on our GME. So I don't want this to happen. But if it does, and we can get into like 6 again, where we had some halts, some distribution down there, and then a pop, I feel like that's what it needs for AMC. And I've already said that if that happens, I think GME does the same thing and then probably gets back into this 40, but we'll be out already. So another try here, GME 44.70, something like that. But again, to be obsessed sitting here just looking at those names, I don't think is right. I know Frank's coming right now. We have a hot CPI coming. Well, maybe hot. I don't know. If you're going to look at what PPI did, we could get an upprint tomorrow. But look at the NASDAQ. I mean, even if we call this out, we are like under 1%, I believe, from all-time highs, pretty much. That is right there, 18,700. So made back late March, right? Even if we go to a 90-minute chart here, we should be able to see right into there, 18,700. So look at this. We're at decision point right now. Tomorrow's number, CPI at 8:30, either pushes this thing through 18.7. I think I'd like to sit up here and try the short if we can get up there. But at the end of the day, that would be a cooler number, gets us there. But then again, if this number comes in and there's a problem, because we heard what Powell said today, and we're going to get more from Frank in a couple minutes, but potentially, if we're starting to head northbound now, and they're pretty happy with the current rate situation, which is 500 basis points straight up with no cuts, then maybe we start to come back down in as the market starts to fear a no-cut rate environment. And then that's where I think we come back into this 18, even lower, back into the 200 period, potentially 17.9. So I'd like to fade a pop tomorrow and or buy an extreme dip. Whether or not that happens, you know, you talk all about this, Obi, and then you watch as expected or something, the number. But someone that's a hell of a lot smarter than me is going to break some of this down with Brendan right now. It's Frank and Brendan at the big desk.
For a roundup of, I mean, let's be honest, Frank, it was kind of out of nowhere. I don't think a lot of people were expecting this today, but Fed Chair Powell comes out and is quite dovish. I mean, you know, basically said they're not going to hike. He said the next move is not going to be up. You know, so in the near future, anyways, it seems the all clear has been pointed to. At least the market initially liked that. Tech specifically initially liked that. Even the CBOE Fed funds tool I saw initially liked that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the meme stocks hated it. No, the meme stocks, I don't think cared one way or the other, although the volatility in there is crazy. We should talk on that at some point here. But yeah, a really interesting piece from Powell, because it does make you wonder. Obviously, he doesn't have the data before the actual number comes out tomorrow. But the fact that he's leaning so hard in that direction does let you know that the inflation data that we're going to get tomorrow and we're going to get throughout the rest of the year would have to be meaningfully higher for him to now go back on what he just said. And you even saw it to some extent with that PPI this morning that was a good deal higher than expected. And I know some of the revisions were lower, and so it was one of those numbers where the headline number is higher than expected, but some of the sub headlines, so to speak, balanced it out a little bit. But the market did away with this number pretty easily. It was a matter of, I was looking at it, it was maybe 2 to 3 minutes that you saw the spike in rates, the spike in US dollar, and then immediately afterwards, Euro rallies to positive territory. Most of the major currencies positive against US dollar now on the day, and US rates are moving lower throughout the rest of the day. And then after, of course, the Powell speech really reversed that PPI number that came in hotter than expected. And yeah, it's funny, the fact that hikes are completely off the table. It seems to have been the headline that we've gotten from Powell the last couple of weeks, really going back to that last FOMC meeting, which has been translated, yeah, as being really dovish. But he is really just confirming what we have held to be true really since September of last year. And interesting to see that we didn't get that much of a shakeup in the breakdown of the path for interest rates here for the remainder of the year. You all have seen this distribution. This is for the December FOMC meeting here. We've been monitoring this very closely, and you're still seeing, 60, 70% chance of 1 or 2 cuts, and that looming 10 to 15% chance. It was just yesterday, it was 12 or 13% again. I was looking at it, of no cuts this year. And so, yeah, he's solidifying that they're not looking at hikes, at least for now. The inflation data, I think, would have to be, back in the 4s or 5s probably for them to keep hikes on the table. But if we don't start seeing downticks, they might get that no cuts here in 2024. I know you and I have been thinking that's maybe more realistic than most.
And I don't think there's, I don't think that's necessarily a negative at this point for not only the equity market or the economy. In fact, if you push it out to next year, it just gives us something more to look forward to, heading into the first quarter of next year. So, all right, focus shifts to tomorrow morning now at 8:30, and this is going to be, I think, much more significant than PPI. Yes, it was, as you said, a little bit higher than expected, but CPI specifically needs to follow suit here, I think, for this to continue.
100%. And another thing that I thought was kind of meaningful, in that it's not meaningful at all, is we've had PPI go positive, negative several times in recent months, and we've had CPI go in opposing directions. So don't start to think that, we got a higher than expected PPI, and so CPI is going to come in hot as well. From where I'm standing, it's a pretty even market on where CPI is going to come in. That being said, the expectation is lower for sure. You have a core CPI that's expected at 3.6%. Now, that's not so much lower, but that would be a downtick from the previous reading. And the headline number, this will be a really interesting one, because the headline CPI has upticked in recent months. The core has been really steady, lower or sideways every month for the last 12 months. That being said, it's obviously gotten more and more sideways in recent months. But the headline number that I believe is expected at 3.4%, they are looking for a downtick there from the 3.5% that we got last month. that was higher than expected and was an uptick for the third month in a row here in 2024. It'll be really interesting to see what number we get. Like I say, the expectations are lower than previous months. But that being said, the market, to your point, Brendan, I couldn't agree more that the market will have a knee-jerk reaction. And I know Sean and the guys have been talking about this, and he just laid out super eloquently what he would be looking for if the number is hotter or weaker than expected. I get the feeling that this is going to be a nice trade one way or the other. Obviously, if you get the hotter than 3.4% with the headline or 3.6% with the core, you're likely to get that knee-jerk reaction to the downside for stocks and to the upside for US dollar and rates and vice versa. But man, I couldn't agree with you more that they haven't cut yet, and the NASDAQ is right there near all-time highs. And it's funny, the will they or won't they cut seems super meaningful, but keep in mind that NASDAQ is a rounding error off of all-time highs, and they've priced out 4 full rate cuts this year already. And so what that effectively means is we've gone from 6 cuts to 1 or 2, and the NASDAQ is still right there at all-time highs. So if we go from 1 or 2 cuts to no cuts or punting into 2025, how meaningful is that for this equity market that seems to be able to shrug off all of these changes to the interest rate environment? I don't know, but I think you're going to get a nice knee-jerk reaction one way or the other. The trend has been big reversals to those knee-jerk reactions as recently as the PPI, and it seems like every data point that's come out the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it seems like the market just shrugs this off. I even mentioned that, made a comment to that effect this morning when that came out. I mean, it was 10 minutes later, we were right back up to essentially pre-data on levels for the futures. Let's talk about retail sales. I guess if your GME, it's fine. It's clear sailing. It's to the moon, as they say. But what do we need to expect? Because retail sales is a very good indicator of overall economic strength or a lack thereof. And we have had, 2 in a row that haven't been that bad, but this could be meaningful as well.
And I think this will likely be more meaningful for the equity market as we maybe get later in the morning tomorrow. Because I agree with you once again. We're on the same page here today that if you get a big miss out of this retail sales number and the inflation data that comes out is relatively in line, of course, all the headlines tomorrow morning are going to be around the inflation data, even if it's in line or off by 0.1%, which is basically what we've been doing the last several months. If you get a retail sales number that is much lower than this 0.4% expectation, that would be another downtick. They're expecting another downtick in retail sales. And if it's closer to 0 or negative territory, then maybe after they discard that inflation data point, it starts to settle in that maybe the economic strength is a problem. And that's a much more direct through line to equities, is a weaker than expected retail sales number. Now, that being said, if this number's hot and inflation is hotter than expected, maybe you have that equity move lower and reversal. But yeah, it's I think maybe the worst case scenario for this equity market is an inflation number that's in line or even maybe a little bit lower than expectation, and retail sales is also lower than expectation. Because, yeah, to your point, the market's been able to shrug off the fact that the Fed is pricing out rate cuts. But if we get weak retail sales or weak economic data and maybe a confirmation that we're going to get a rate cut or two, the market might not shrug that off, if that makes any sense. The retail sales number or the general economic health might be more meaningful to this equity market than getting 1, 2, or 3 rate cuts and a lower than expected inflation number.
One thing I took away from this, these comments this morning from Fed Chair Powell was he seems to be a lot more comfortable speaking in this direction, speaking towards the fact that even though we've seen a few numbers that have not been really what they're looking for, including the PPI this morning, someone even asked him directly about that PPI print this morning, and he kind of shrugged it off and said, no biggie, onward. And I think if you zoom out onto that core CPI chart that you just talked through, you get the picture of, and we've talked about this many, many times, the market's very comfortable in this range for inflation, and it seems like he is as well at this point.
Yeah, and that's why you figure you really need to see a meaningful uptick in either of those numbers. Because yeah, I mean, and you can throw up the core CPI data again. It's pretty consistently lower or sideways. It really feels like you need to see a 4% or above number. And yeah, to your point, the headline coming out of Powell's speech today is hikes are pretty much off the table. And so he's very comfortable. The market seems very comfortable with one or two cuts or even this chance of no cuts. And so any number that's around 3.6% or for the headline number 3.4%, we're still going to get a big move one way or the other. But it seems like, yeah, if we get this uptick in CPI and the market sells off pretty hard, could be a similar reversal like we saw in the PPI number here today. Because like I say, it would have to take maybe a 4% or above print to see that sell off in equities and really be meaningful to the downside there. Because yeah, I mean, you can't argue with this chart. They've done such a good job of getting inflation down to this 3 to 4% level. They've just had a harder time getting it down to 2%. But to make a case for a rate hike at this point, you need to see a very meanuful uptick.
Yeah, that was a huge move down, and I don't even believe that was the actual peak way back in 2023 for the core number. So yeah, to echo your comments. Great stuff. We'll wrap it up at that. Get back to some of this crazy meme action this afternoon. Frank Caberna, Director of Strategy over at IG.com in Chicago. Thanks as always.
Thanks, Brendan.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to see sort of how consistently, they fought this and it's gotten to the downside. So yeah, I feel like if we do get a super hot print tomorrow, there could be a problem, but like Frank said, it has to be a little bit north of that 4, so we'll see where we go on that. Brendan nailed it again. Yeah, we're back into more meme stocks right now. We're back in just to one though, GameStop. Buying these dips into 44. We just now were taking some out because it doesn't want to break 45. So we've been buying these dips here. We got like literally 30, 40, 50 cents trying to scalp a little bit out. Like that's all, like just a little bit because we were pennies away from getting stopped out. So if we can get a break of 45, then we'll really be laughing. We're long at 44.60. So again, it's not really moving. I'm not too celebratory of this trade by any stretch, but it just keeps on bouncing off 45. So we have a couple 90s out, and here it goes again, breaking back through 45. So let's have a quick look to see where we might want to get some more out. I did put an offer at the 50 period, 45.50, sorry, just ahead of this. So it's 75, so I put it at 45.50. So if we can get a nice move up, we'll take $1 on another piece, and then maybe we go from there. But it's nicely in the money now. See that? Look at that. We were just in there nicely in the money, as I said, $1. Now we're going to get stopped out. So, I mean, just as fast as this, well, we might not get stopped out, but just as fast as it goes up, it comes right back down again. So, I don't know, Obi. Look at that huge seller. Did you guys see that?
Wow.
Oh, missed it. There was a big seller of like 40,000 shares that just pushed it down. Oh, wow. We were just talking about getting out at the high side of 45. So there's the break back down. We'll slap a fail. I mean, it's a fail because it broke, so that's fine. But at the end of the day, we were getting some out. I was just about, oh, that's too bad, man. I was at 45.50, or else we would have one more out there. There was a huge seller that came there, so let's continue to watch it. That sucks. I really thought we were going to go there. All right, well, we tried it. Maybe if that seller shows up and then gets hit, we'll punch long. But until then, let's wait to see what we're doing here on, I might lower my shares a little bit so I can punch a little bit more right now, because So what I do is I like to never really have a full position, just punching random spots. But like, if I see a seller come back on here, I wish we could have sort of clipped that. There was somebody there at 44. I don't know where it showed up. Saw it, and then it just tanked the stock. So that's where you got to have some of those stop orders, right?
Wasn't the spoofy man, was it?
It could have been. That's what I'm wondering.
Or he didn't get filled, so he just hit the bid for whatever he had.
We could have had the
likely,
spoofy man just show up there. Good call there, Obi. Yeah, so.
You never know. I mean, like that's why I gotta have like these filters on just to make sure if they actually got filled or did they just scare the price down.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's pretty wild. That's the thing about like GME end of day, which kind of like has me not really looking at it. Is just like, okay, well, people are probably looking for that push end of day from the morning, from the pre-market as well. And if it doesn't really come in, all those longs, if they are short-term players, they're going to be a little bit, they're going to be trying to get out of their positions. But yeah, no, some of the size that's going through that name is absolutely wild.
I'm going back. I'm back in it now.
Crazy there.
But spoofy man or not.
The markets are pushing fresh highs, like as if nothing's really happening. We were talking about how the SPDR's like 1 point away from all-time highs, intraday all-time highs. A few more points away from all-time highs if you take into consideration pre-market or after-hours prices as well. So yeah, I tried a little bit of a short there on the SPDR itself. After we pulled back a little bit, but kind of chopping and turning around as Softy makes fresh highs, Amazon making fresh highs, Nvidia as well, pretty much close to those fresh highs there. But I'm a little. I guess I have a little bit of a bearish bias more often than not. So I'm kind of looking for that little bit of a pullback now. I'm not looking for it to go to zero, but just a little bit of a healthy pullback, right? But it doesn't seem like it's really there. And something I want to mention as well. Yesterday I noticed a little bit of a gap up on the VIX after we kind of sold off there for a little bit there, and that gap was holding. You can see we kind of sold off. We had that nice little push in April there, mid to end of April. Nice little push in the 20s. Been kind of fading off since, and that's where we've got a little bit of that bid up. Maybe on that low volume bid up is kind of interesting as well across the board. But a little bit of a gap up coming in this week, and we're pretty much holding some of those levels here on the VIX itself. So yeah, maybe volatility picking right back up. Maybe, just maybe, right, Sean? Volatility could be. A little bit of euphoria in the markets as well. Interesting times we're going through again.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be going through them too, because it's learned a lot from the first time. Let's see if we can take advantage of it in the second time right now. So there's a question here in the chat that says, what about the next one? And they said, here it is. What's up to Aaron and Joanna Brewster? You've been here for a while. What do you say about maybe SPCE, so Virgin Galactic, being the next? Calls coming in. So, I mean, when you're talking about what's going to be next or not, I mean, honestly, I think you just trade AMC and GME if you're actually going to trade these things, because then you don't have to worry what's next. You're literally trading what's now, so I think that that's important. But I do think that you're looking at the right stuff. I don't have any scanners for incoming call volume or anything like that, but yeah, if you're seeing something starting to ramp up on any of these names, then I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think that's what you want to look for. We talked about that with Danielle, Shay, Aaron, and Joanna there. So I feel like that is a good little spot to start to look at. We just got some more. Sorry, I'm not done speaking. I seem to be never am, but we're going to wait to. I just want to make sure that we get some orders out, because we are watching out for that 43 break again. I got back into GME. We're just long here at 43.90. I am willing just to lose $1 again on this. We already got stopped at once when we broke 44 the first time. Looks like we basically made the bottom there at 43.40s or whatever. So right now we're going to see if that bottom can hold against 43. May not, right? I mean, AMC is going the other way. I'm just trying to play this honestly because I feel like the long, if it's going to win, it should start. I mean, again, looks like it wants to come back now. Oh, that's crazy. We had such a good short up there at 54. And then right now we've been sort of giving some money back, trying to chase some plays. Yeah, these chasing longs, we should have just stuck short, I guess, right, in hindsight. But, that's what trading's all about. So let's see what winds up happening. We're only 43.90. To lose $1 plus slippage, let's say $1.50, it's not For me, we're not using a whole bunch of shares right now. I would really like to punch long if we could break sort of the 50 period up here again and maybe even through 50. But for right now, we're kind of just trying to catch these daggers, hoping that we can get a pop. And that really hasn't been working now. So again, we know the volume will be dead come the close, like after hours, which could spark this thing. But maybe we have to get long closer to the close. So maybe a little closer, because here we come in fading out right now. Once we break 53, it's hands 43. There it is, hands off. We just got punched out right there. So again, sucky to make that again, but maybe the long is not here anymore, Obi, and we're just fighting a negative spot. We said that we would maybe take AMC long down at 6. This is kind of the play that we called potentially happening. So let's see about this trade a little bit more, because look at GME. So I still held on. I still held on to 20%. I used that 25%. I used that trade scanner there to hold on to a certain piece. So we'll wait for a little bit more of a pop potentially on this one. But we are going to try to get some AMC long down near $6, and then that will be it. We'll draw the line there. You know, I want to trade it because I know there's a lot of you here that are looking at this kind of stuff. But also, there's good volume today. 600 million, 530 million. So if you're trying to get some shares in and push them around a little bit, this stock should work. 590 bottom, 583. So here we go. It looks like AMC is going to get spicy for me soon as we approach that $6 mark that we liked.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at this pullback back through. Like, we're chopping around this 18.4 here on the NQ, getting a little bit of a pullback here as well on the ES. Now these are 15-minute candles here. Again, softy. I'm looking at what are some of these names that are pushing the spider, kind of pretty strong there. Softy again near its day highs. Apple attempted to push. Now again, it's at 187 halves here. We can take a quick look at Apple as well. So a little bit of a chop and churn happening near these highs. We can see that Apple already wicked quite aggressively right off of the open, and we got a little bit of a fade off of that 86 halves holding throughout 45. The day. 87 halves holding as of right now. But yeah, you can see that softy here, pushing fresh highs there, a little bit of a pullback. So we did break out of this level here we were talking about just a little bit earlier there at that 415 halves. Push into some of these pre-market lows from yesterday, and then maybe a little bit of a pullback here. Let's see. This is quite a strong trend to the upside from this 412 here, and now we're just pushing into that power hour as of right now. Only about 7 minutes into power hour. Let's see if we can take a little bit of a breather. Where is VWAP, you may ask? 413.87 right here. So we did kind of chop and churn in and around VWAP, and we broke out of this, like, if you want to call it a range, a bit of a range here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's tested each side of the range maybe twice, the bottom the three times. So yeah, maybe the long was quite nice here. The breakout would have been quite nice. Now I wasn't really necessarily watching it there, but again, like I said, in retrospect, a lot of things look like, oh yeah, I coulda, shoulda, woulda done that. But again, looking for that bit of a pullback here going into power hour. Let us know what you guys are trading in the chat. NVAX, yeah, so I know I was trading NVAX earlier today, so we can take a quick look at what NVAX is up to as of right now. And yeah, NVAX kind of testing near its day lows, its pre-market lows here as well. This kind of consolidation on the day one there. Now, it's something interesting. NVAX actually had earnings the day before. And then holds this consolidation, this 11 break. That was quite nice yesterday, and then attempt to push into that 14. Does it off the open today, but can't really make it through into that 15. We just chop around this VWAP here to now testing near day lows. So it'll be interesting to see where we go going forward on Novavax. Again, part of the whole meme group as well. I don't think it's as heavily shorted as some of the other ones there, but I think if I can just take a quick look at NVAX. So NVAX. Let Let me just take a quick look here, how much it's shorted. So yeah, it's shorted about 33%. Yep. So it's still quite significant there as an overall short. So yeah, I guess I'll take that back. But again, not as shorted as something like Hollow, but relatively the same as it does fall into that 30% and above kind of section there. What do you got going on?
Oh no, the same. Just saying, all right, like not to you, just to myself, because like we took AMC at the dip there, so we got good, man. We're long at 35 right now, all is well. All right, but the thing is like I'm also dip buying GME, and it's not going up, so it's not doing the same things that AMC are doing right now. So we're long right now at 42.70, so flat on this trade pretty much, but a break of 42, and I think we just got to get out of here. It's definitely not moving the same way as the rest of them. So I don't know. It looks like AMC wanted to go there. We did take a piece out just at 50. We're always going to take something out at 50s. Here we go. Let's go back up to the upside. You see, like this is trying to break 50s, and GameStop is losing 42 as we speak. So I'm going to put another offer here on AMC. Let's just get some out at 51 there. So we'll take another out at 51 because if GameStop loses it, which it looks like it's going to, then potentially AMC gets back down and we can get a better price. So we'll wait for that one, take out some more money there. Looks like we'll lose on GME potentially and gain a little bit there on AMC. So it looks like, again, another flat trade as we look to try to get back into this GME. I don't know, man. The game could be stopped on this, honestly, because it doesn't. We nailed that short right there, and we should have just stayed in it, but at the end of the day, we had a great trade back into 41. We called that 41, and I kind of felt like a little silly doing it, but it did come in. We did talk about that right down here on the 50 period, so that was a good short, and now just fighting the longs. Look, I'm here, man. I'm not trying to prop it up. I am doing that by putting bids, but it's definitely not working. Like, look, there's some size right there again. Needs to get through this 20,000, right? So if we can shoot that, then we should get back over 43. But there's someone just sitting there. It needs to just one more run. Look at all these dark pools. This is going to break lower. Honestly, it's not like these many shares is holding it. No. Like there's some dark pools here, obviously a lot of them, where there's a lot of inside shares just not printing. Like we should be going through, right? 168 million shares on a $42 name. We should have 1s and 3s shouldn't be holding this thing up. So see what I said? There goes that big order there. I guess we must have got one little print there. It does rip up. That order was like at 30s. We ran into the 70s there. Now let's see if we can get maybe a little bit more of an upside push right now because we're into a decent amount. Where are we? 42. I don't have any offers until 44.50. So maybe we get a push back up through that right now. Let's give it some room to breathe because hey, man, we just held our breath that we almost got stopped out of this last trade. So now it goes back into the money for us. Again, there on GameStop. Take it if you want. I'm going to try to hold to see if we can get going. Obi, the market's ripping. It's 312 right now. The market's at day's high, up 0.64. And look, GameStop stops again. I think the short.
The short is
unfortunately for people that are here watching this. I feel like the short might be there, which hopefully I'm wrong because we're long, but that's what's giving me it right now. Could I what?
Could you what?
Oh, yeah, in a second. All right, so right now this is starting to go back upside. Oh, here we go. What's up, Willis Addison? I'm revenge trading. I'm getting frustrated, but I'm not. Revenge trading is more like when you're making a decision based on like you just made a bad decision, you're back in it. I don't really think I'm doing that, but thanks for the super chat, and I do find myself doing that. So thank you so much for reminding me not to do that, and I feel like that's important. And when you're looking at all these dips here, I'm not really using so many shares. Like we're able to take some profit there. Then we got out for flat. Then this is a 44, and that's a 43 break, so that's $1. Like we did take $14 here. So like we are giving some back. There's no doubt about that. We'll still be positive on GME, but yeah, this does feel a little revengey, especially because my mind right now is thinking long. My emotions are thinking long, but my mind is thinking short because I'm seeing some huge resistance up here right now. It doesn't want to break it. So yeah, you're probably right. Who was that with that super chat? I'm going to say thank you so much, Willis. You're probably right about that. So. Yeah, what am I going to do about it, though? Maybe I should just get out? I don't know. It's not that I want to be right, but I think there is a long here somewhere. So, all right, let's wait.
Yeah, I think that's something that I kind of have. Okay, there we go. Get stopped out on that spider trade there.
We just
as
took some out on GME.
push some highs there. Yeah. So
Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, no. Sometimes revenge trading, I find myself kind of having a battle with that as well, right? I was talking to Sean earlier, saying that yeah, I've been on a bit of a bad decision-making streak, kind of trying to get myself out of it there. And yeah, no, it can definitely be tough, and being self-aware is definitely a key part of that I definitely have to work on. But yeah, a little bit of revenge trading on my part for sure. I'm trying to short Apple and then go to the spider, try to short the spider as it kind of looks like it's pulling back as well. Clips these consolidation highs as of right now. Pumps up into the 40. That was kind of like this high right here, just a previous local high there. The day high being right there in the 50s, but it's kind of just chopping in this range, and I'm getting chopped up in the range as well. But it is kind of difficult there to maintain the mental for me at least when I've been making bad decisions and I'm trying to get that back. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I got to make a good decision. Sometimes it's a little forced, over the top. And you get to try to short tops, you know. It's maybe not the best.
What were we just saying?
Okay. Yeah. So I guess there you go. Nice. You got what you were looking for. Solid.
Yeah, but I mean, it just goes to show that we were just talking. I mean, look at this. So shout out to Willis Addison. You're not wrong about revenge trading. Dish best served cold. Revenge sometimes. Right there. So we actually got out. We got out of 75% of that. So there it is, man. We take that first out there at 43, then we get another one at 43.80, then we get another one at 44.20s right there. We'll take some more, but that was that was fun. 42.20 up to 44.20, 1 and 2. So, you know, revenge might have been what that was, but we got it at least. So now we'll wait for that. Again, I don't have anything loaded up, so give me 1 quick second and we will do that. So right now, AMD is still that 44 cents in the money as we go, and I just have to get something going here. Obi, take it for 1 second. And
yeah, no worries. Rami saying money, another day on GME being non-biased. Yeah, for sure. I think if you could, if you kind of stayed with the move, it gave you both ways, right? It gave you the nice shorts, gave you nice longs as well. Shorts being right off of the open, we can see, again, we can take a quick look at it as well. We were talking about that 80 double top today. I did come in, I was like, I came in like what, 15, 20 minutes or right after this kind of double top happened and we pushed down into VWAP, and I was like, well, damn, I kind of missed out on the short there off of that pretty clean little double top that we did in the pre-market. And I think, what was it? The 8 a.m. kind of volume brings it in, nice little flush back down into VWAP, holds a VWAP. Now you can see that all of yesterday was holding VWAP as well, quite nicely. So potential trades there on the hold of VWAP, and then it kind of pushes up even higher and holds that VWAP again in the pre-market. But you can see that it not really acting the same way today as it crushes VWAP right off of the open. We've only been trading below that, making relatively lower highs and lower lows relative to the pre-market action, right? And then kind of a distinctly different behavior than what we were seeing yesterday. So yeah, let's see if GME can kind of pull back up. Again, after hours might be interesting. I think after hours, there are no halts, right? We can see clearly there are no halts. You can see what happened this morning, a push from 40s all the way into 80s right there. But yeah, it's been kind of trending down since then, it would seem. But again, I haven't really had any trades on it, so I can't say too much about it. But other than what I'm seeing on the chart, limited information that's been printed on the chart, SPY is still kind of chopping around near these highs. We're holding that 18.4 on the NASDAQ and pretty much holding and coasting along this 52.65 here on the ES as well. So definitely, I don't want to continue shorting this name, kind of getting chopped up on the trade, as again, we talked about it before, and it's doing more of the same here as Softy makes fresh highs on the day as we speak. 417 coming up here. So yeah, exactly. We were trading at 411s this morning off of the open, and now we're pushing up into fresh highs on the day. Again, our friend Amazon as well, kind of singing the same song here, or dancing the same dance right there, as pushing fresh highs as well on the Amazon.
You seem like you might be a dancer, like the tango, or
not really. Like I've taken salsa classes before. I've been told I'm a little stiff, but salsa's fun, I guess.
you say a little stiff?
Yeah.
Well, the lucky thing is that today's stream is brought to you guys by Blue Chew. Guys, remember the good old days when you were always ready to go? Well, it's back, baby. Those days don't have to be over. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but inconvenient. Get this, Obi, chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and you will receive your prescription. The best part is discreetly delivered to your door within days. No, there is no awkward doctor visits, no waiting in line at a pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and shipped directly to you. And man, have we got a special deal for you, Obi. You can try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code TraderTV at checkout. Just pay the $5 shipping. Visit bluechew.com with promo code TraderTV. Why was the chat lighting up there?
That was a pretty solid transition. I have to give it to you for that one.
Hey man, we rise to the occasion.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying right there? So this is what I'm trying to do.
When you're having trouble shorting, you just get long. That's you know.
That would
get with
also
the
be
trend.
very good. Hire
That's what
this
you gotta
man.
do.
Pay the man his monies right now. But right now we are long and on GameStop, because right there we did buy these dips, and there we go again. It's an Obi. I mean, $3 more, you pay $5 shipping. So there's a $1 and a $2 winner right there on GameStop as we continue to the upside as we go. Right now, $2 in the money on GameStop. Let's see how far we can get up there to the upside right now. GameStop, I like it. I like the stock. I remember when we were in Miami, my kid goes, I like the stock. And I tweeted that out. That was years and years ago when this was going here. But there it is. So nice little move upside right now for Amazon. We were still bidding. I put another bid down there at 42.40. It's crazy that we got missed because the bottom was 42.60 there or so. But we'll take another shot into 42 for that one. Unfortunately, though, my AMC apes, where are you at right there? It's always good when your diamond is bigger than your head, or roughly the same size on that one. Sorry, Marissa, hers is not quite that large. But at the end of the day, this looks like it wants to break back down below 6 again. We're going to try one more shot here. We are bidding $6.11. Kind of just randomly ahead of 610 here. I'm not even going to give it to this wick bottom, just a break of 6 and we're gone. So let me get a little closer here to 6 on AMC and just try to trade that. So that'll be what we're doing, and we're going to find out what happens here down near $6 for AMC. So another opportunity right here to come through. We do have the market recap show. Do we have the earnings board? Did we still do that? We haven't done that. Okay, we'll get that loaded up in a couple minutes. But for right now, Obi, this is what we're doing. I don't have any more bids. I have a bid on AMC here, and I have a bid on GameStop. So both of these stocks on my mind right now, but great call there on Microsoft. We actually anointed this the next one a couple weeks ago just because it hadn't moved back up to the upside. You saw Amazon break, you saw Google break, and Microsoft still has the juice to go, and they were hovering down here for some strange reason, 390 and change, 400. Now you're finally getting back above the 50 period. I still think this is the next one to take out highs, 433 on Microsoft. It could even be tomorrow on that number.
Yeah, definitely kind of a strong push up there. Look at that trend. That trend is absolutely beautiful there. It hasn't
like, what is up with that today?
Like since those 412s, like since we made that kind of low there, similar kind of low of yesterday. It's just been straight trending up to the upside, and yeah, making fresh highs, not lows, going into the last half hour of the trading session there. But yeah, I'm looking at AMC as well. AMC kind of pushing fresh lows, kind of coming into day low here. What's the day low, you may ask? 585, only about 30 pennies away from that right there. So while that kind of happens, let's go through some of the top volume gainers of the day. Again, AMC being the top of the list, traded about 550 million shares on the day. Holy, oh boy, is that a lot of dollar volume there happening on AMC? That's definitely a nice chunk of change. A lot of liquidity in this name today on AMC. Again, only been trending down since the open. Can't really get past VWAP here at that $10 level, and then just straight fading into the close as of right now. We only got about 37 minutes left till the close. Plug Power, similar story here, kind of a fade off of the open. Nice little strong Quadroon. Can't get past that 5. Gets front run on the shorts in the pre-market, and then just straight fade. Now we're testing 350s there. Now GME, of course, again with a volume of 173 closing in there. Similar story to as some of these other meme names. They're sell off of the open, kind of consolidating near their lows. SPWR, another heavily shorted name we talked about. Similar story here. So it seems like this high short interest sector is acting relatively the same here, hollow as well. Okay, nice little pop there happening as of right now. But before that, we're going to pass it over to Dara.
Stocks aren't reacting too much to this yet, but do keep in mind here, Bloomberg reporting that some TikTok creators are suing to block that U.S. divestiture ban law. I do have Snapchat up right now. Again, not too much of a reaction, but keep an eye on SNAP and Meta as well here with that in mind, guys.
All right, thank you, Adara. And okay, so we will go right back at it. The next one is BlackBerry. Now, this one I didn't have eyes on, but I was looking at it yesterday because I knew it was part of that meme sector, and it was pushing up in the after hours. Gets a little bit more of that move in the pre-market, but can't really hold any of those highs. Nice little consolidation below these pre-market levels here in and around that 370 confluence with that VWAP hold as well, testing near lows there. Now Tesla is definitely on watch. We saw that strong move yesterday, and I think they had a little bit of news today with Oracle. Didn't really do too much in terms of a move on Tesla itself, but Oracle had quite a strong move. So let's take a quick tangent into Oracle right now and see what that's been up to. So yeah, Oracle had this news with relation to Tesla. Nice little push up, 115s all the way to 122s, and then a flush back down into this 119 level here. Now just chopping sideways, reclaimed VWAP as well. Going, let's see what we do with that 120. I know that it was kind of a strong sell on earnings, if I'm not mistaken there. So let's quickly go back to the day chart. Okay, no, it gapped up on earnings, and then post earnings, it's been selling off since then. And now off of this news, we get a little bit of a pop there on the Oracle. Now Lucid, again, I think we had some news on EVs yesterday. Something with the China ban happening there. So I know that some of these EVs are definitely on watch. Lucid, NIO's up there as well. NIO, nice little strong trend on the day, looking a little bit different than Lucid here. SoFi, Tilray, what happened to the weed names? Nothing really. We know that they popped a few, was it a few days ago, a few weeks ago? Yeah, we saw that move, and we've been kind of chopping sideways on these, so maybe it's still kind of consolidating on the larger time frame, no idea, but still trading in and around the same levels as they were just a couple weeks ago. Rivian, again, another EV, had a strong move off the open, but gave it all back and more by now. NVAX, again, we talked about this one being part of the meme sector there, looking very similar, giving up on some of its gains as well. Palantir, no. Interesting. No? What's going on?
Because I'm mad at Palantir, because we talked about 21.25 break long in the morning.
Yeah.
And I said I was breaking my back all over these. Oh, wow.
Break up or break down? It broke up. Yeah, it definitely broke out.
21.25.
Yeah.
Obi, like it's right here.
Damn.
Right here. Palantir, 21.25 long break.
I think you know.
So anyways, what's Palantir at right now?
It's at 21.50, 21.40, 46.
How high did it go on the 21.25?
It went to 22.07s. Huh. So yeah, it went up over 1.75 dollars there, points off of that break on
1.75. That's great. Well, you know what
else? I was
else?
gonna say points, but I'm like, I can't say points twice, but you know. Yes.
It's 3 now for GameStop. So in what was the revenge trade of the day? No, but honestly, we love those guys. The Muppets are the best. What were those guys' names again? They're the opera guys.
Don't
They just sit there and they trash talk people from the booth,
Yeah.
from the top. The heckle.
I'm forgetting
the
what their
hecklers.
names are.
Oh yeah, that does look like a lot like Fabian, not Ramin. It does look nothing like Ramin, but looks a lot like Fabian. Almost exactly like Fabian, to be honest with you. And nothing. Who's hitting that? You?
No.
I'm trying to have my. I thought me and Ramin were. I thought that was okay. Oh, it was Fabian hitting that. Okay. All right. Just real quickly here, before we get too carried away with ourselves, we did get that AMC dip by to 611. We did talk about that. Unfortunately, it's only given us 20s right now. We just got a break. We got 20. We got 22s there. So I don't know. Let's wait to see. We're out of 25% now for amazing, basically 9-10 cents. I'm not even on the offer. If this thing wants to go, great. We do have a break back down below $6. If we think something's going to happen at the close, then let's get locked and loaded for this. Oh, you know what we can check, Obi? Let's check our imbalance locator to see if there's any sort. Oh, all right, Obi. You know what we can do? Why don't we check? Ramin, is everything all right over there? All right, we're going to make sure if we can check what's coming out after market right now. Okay, so new holdings. Is there anything else on that side? I can't see. Rumble is over there, so that should be a good one.
Canoe.
Rumble does. I'm going to check out a short flow for Rumble. The interesting move is there tomorrow before the open. We have HUD 8, so that's going to be a name that, of course, is recognized by many of you there. Mara, Clean Spark. Come on, AMC, let's go. We built this trade. Look, no matter what side. Boom, nice move. All the way up to 40s now. Let's go, Obi. Get those earnings off the screen pronto, because we're going to do this right now. Nice move backside for AMC as, hey, man, we're here. No Neil, no problem. We've got Obi here. We've got GameStop. We've got AMC. This is exactly, Obi, I don't know what else we can do. This is a completely free, having fun show. I said we're bidding 611, right?
Yep.
All right. So we got bid, 611, we got hit. It's now 645 right there. 8% straight there. We're in the money now, 40 cents on 60. Nice move back up to the upside. Let's go. Why are you stopping, AMC? You're not stopping. No. You are halting to the upside for us. Bang right now on AMC, as we'll take some more shares there at the halt price. Let's see if we get going, man. We're here. We have now united, everybody. We are now $4, Obi, in the money now on GameStop. But let's just wait to see what happens. Maybe into the close we get a really huge run up now. Good dip buys there. We did get out there. We should not have. My bad. But there it goes. Nicely done now, going back up to the upside. I've joined everybody there right now. Hopefully we get back up to the upside now. So
Nice trade there.
Yeah, we're at 47, $5 in the money now for GameStop, $5. Let's see where we go. We have an up halt on AMC. Yeah, life is pretty good for the longs right now, and it's doing exactly what we thought would happen. A run up into the close. Has there been better opportunities? Probably. I mean, we've talked about Softy, we've talked about Google, we've talked about Microsoft, but today, for me, is one of these days. So if you're asking for a coffee, I would love one. I don't know if that's too late or not, but I would love a damn coffee right about now. Boom! It is now $5 in the money on GameStop, as there we go for that one as well. Obi, I had a lot of shares down there, and now I wish I had a lot more.
A lot more, yeah.
Yeah, because I was not overly convinced of this. You heard me talk about that. So when we went up, we did empty our clip a little bit there. Still some on, coming back into 48. Potentially a good upside right now, in and around 48, and then looking for a 50 break. So I feel pretty good if we were to do something like that. So maybe let's put an offer in and around 48, and then maybe re-engage this at 50, because we're already well, I don't know. Should we do that? We're already in a nice trade now. Okay, I'm going to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you had some pretty good prices down there. And then when that right side of the V comes in off of that 40 kind of bounce and that push up, you make a higher low. I feel like that's like again in retrospect, that's like okay, now you can start pushing some size into that move, and then yeah, you get that AMC halt up. That's definitely pushing that side to.
That's the other thing too. Wow, here's 48 right now, Obi.
Well, wow, yeah, back to 50, eh? That 50 is definitely interesting.
We just
for
bounced
sure.
off 48 again. Okay. I think I'm just going to. I mean, I think Obi's right there. We could be arching back up. Let's put an offer. Let's get out of this near 48 if we're lucky enough to do that on game. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we had $14 short. I mean, we could grab it long. We're $5 in the money heading into the close. And we actually, because we started to go ham there a little bit, we didn't get a chance to even see if there was any imbalances on these names right now. So GME, here, let's just do this the right way. Let's just sort it. AM, oh no, this might take me a while. There's so many. How many symbols are there? AM, M, A, L, H, I, J, K, L, M.
NOP?
Yeah. Just it's like there was K, and then I scrolled down, and we're at like N. We got okay. AM. Oh my God. AMPL, AMH, AMC. Nothing.
Boom. Yeah.
Oh, broker. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at this quote rate. Oh, it's halted. That's right. So we're looking at this quote right there. So there is a buy of 270. So now bear with me as we play the alphabet game again. G.
I saw HKD there.
You saw HKD?
What's
You want to trade some HKD, baby?
Oh,
L, M, 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 G, M. Oh my God! Where's the filter on this? I'm going to speak to these guys ASAP.
There it is.
There it is right there. So we do have a buy on GME and on AMC right now. So okay, you know what? Let's just ride with it then. 48. All right, so we'll just cancel that. So we're now $5 plus in the money, and we're going to see if we can let it ride. Now trying to take out 48. Good trading over here. I hope you guys hit the like, hit the subscribe. Follow me at Trader TV Sean. Follow at Trader TV Live, both on Instagram, TikTok, all over the place. Any social media that you can think of, probably not, but the main ones. Follow us all over there. It's been a good one. Podcasts are out everywhere. We do have our podcast coming out right now. Oh, I don't have the right page on the podcast, but it's right here. The Freedom and Wealth podcast. Join me and Brendo here as we're going to be talking about some, pretty neat things, new topics. Getting ready to launch this. 332 subs. Go over there, subscribe. Bears vs. Bulls will put that in the chat as well. But here we go. This is, we've united, man. So congratulations to everybody out there because we've got this. I hope that when I was talking about sort of why we like that 42 level, hopefully you're able to hold on to that. Thank you, Rob, for that comment. I come in, I know we're going to be trading meme stocks, so I flip up the game. There it is right there, $6 now in the money on GameStop. $14 winner, $6 winner, up
there's
stock.
AMC open.
There's AMC open right now. 50 cents in the money and going higher for this one. Let's take a piece out at 60, and why not? We're spinning it right now as we go over to Adara at the big screen. Bye-bye, AMC.
Lots of names to look at here that are making some outsized moves, including Charles Schwab and an already strong bank sector standing out here with a 16% year-over-year increase in total client assets. So nice look there for SCHW. Next up, we have Danaher. We have CFO here, Matthew McGrew, exercising $4.89 million in options in DHR. Nice move to the upside there. Last but not least, we do have a downside move, MPC. Marathon Petroleum, amid some oil weakness across the board here, we actually did have a bit of a CEO switch up, CFO becoming the CEO of the company, and Piper Sandler lowering its price target from 204 to 190. So a couple negative catalysts here for MPC. So many names, though, making outsized moves on the S&P 500, guys.
Like, why did my wife just send the word stiff to me? All right. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, no, she was watching the Blue Chew ad there. So, all right, here we go. Nice move back up to the upside right now for AMC. We did clean out of that one. Man, we're just sort of spinning around here, taking some of that profit. So, maybe back into 46, maybe back into 48 as well. I'm going to possibly change my mind here as some of this is starting to fade back out. That AMC is giving it up a little bit right now. Let's just put an offer at 47. Oh, no, Sean, don't tell me you did this again. All right, let's see if we can take a piece out. Did we just get out there? No, we did not. Out now. Oh, okay, we're out. All right, you know what? That's a wrap, man. If I could take 450 or whatever that was right there, we'll take it out. $4 and 67 cents. So 460 on that one. Honestly, man, before we need a defibrillator around here, I better get out. So we'll take that out there at $47. We were thinking about 48, and look, we tried to hold it for that, right? Like the minute that failed there, we were going to get out there anyways, Obi, because it was something that we had looked at in the past. And then once we failed there, not worth it. Plus, we're seeing this fail at the top. Good thing we got a whole bunch out at 70s and 80s. Here, let me show you this one. AMC, I mean, look, this is the long right here. Forget about this. This was just adding to the adding to the profit right there as we got back up to the upside on that halt. But we talked about buying 611s. So we got some 614s, then we got 611, we got loaded up, and then the rest is history. Nice upside move back now for AMC. And what a day. If you're here for meme stocks, I mean, I've now made, we won't talk about P&L. GME is my #1 stock today. We have 45 trades on that, and we have 200 fills on AMC, which is ridiculous. We also have 120 fills on AMD, and we've actually been really quiet about AMD because this one was a really good moneymaker for us. Ooh. Bad early, but really great late. Short down, short again. The problem is we had to short all the way up until eventually we got that top. So it wasn't an easy trading day. I think we can say that, especially if you're looking at some of these memes, because you got hit early, man. I mean, there was some nastiness, Obi, and a lot of traders don't like to go short. We were lucky enough that we were catching a good short there and then the good long back. So we'll be up today net on meme stocks, but honestly, kind of a tough day everywhere else. I mean, Microsoft was a beautiful long if you had that. I lost on Amazon, actually. It's not that much as I look at the net, but we were trying to go short. Actually, yeah, we did wind up down on it, which is kind of funny when you're looking at that. We did have not a great fill there and then just stopped out on the top there once we broke 186.80. So at the end of the day, good outs for us on Amazon, but that was an L. Look at the futures, up 0.65. Remember, tomorrow is CPI. I almost typed in CPI. That's going to be something that is going to be super, super exciting. Thank you, Chef Joe, man.
We're closing high a day before CPI.
I think we are going to? Oh, no. In and around here.
Yeah. It's pretty, I mean.
By the way, AMC just came back.
Yeah, AMC is kind of just chopping.
So what do you think tomorrow, CPI? I mean, I don't know why.
I have no idea. I'm not going to make that assumption, but like, again, if we, like, a lot of them have been as expected, right? Like you mentioned earlier.
Today kind of caught me off by surprise being a little higher on the PPI, which sent the market down. Can you believe the market went down initially?
Yeah, and then bought right back up.
Not even a chance.
Look at this wick. Look at this wick on the future, Sean. That's absolutely crazy. Like,
was that 8:30?
This was.
Oh yeah, because you have a 20-minute chart.
Yeah, this is a 15-minute chart right here. So look at the 15-minute candle here, and then you pretty much hold that. Well, sure, it's a little bit of a chop, but you pretty much hold the close of that 15 all day, especially on the NQ. The close of that 15-minute candle with reference to the PPI, you hold and print only prices above that, and now we're closing at or near the highs on the, of the day going into CPI. Definitely tomorrow is going to be very interesting. Let's see if we push some fresh highs. We know that the ES, the Spider, is kind of near all-time highs as well, and we might very well see that with all the volume coming into the market. We know that there's a lot of interest pulling right back in due to the meme season kind of picking right back up, and a lot of eyes on the markets now. So let's see if we can push those all-time highs coming into tomorrow. If CPI is good or bad, who knows? As expected, who knows? But it seems like we really liked the PPI today, and we pretty much continued this action that we got in the pre-market going into the close today. Very strong. Is it a cushion? Is it a buffer for tomorrow? Who knows? But yeah, Powell was talking today as well. Yep. I was looking at that. I was looking for a potential reversion. Took that reversion on the NVDA. Doesn't really come into fruition. That bid was quite strong, and again, reiterated by that bid on Softy, that bid on Apple, that bid on Alphabet and Amazon and Nvidia all day. Again, the market's very, very strong today. So going into tomorrow, definitely going to be watching for what that CPI may or may not bring, pushing into all-time highs there. So should be fun. Should be interesting. It's the market.
The market. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that yesterday. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if you had a preference with NASDAQ or S&P, or it doesn't.
I mean, I like the DAC a little bit better, but again, it's all relatively, like, they all kind of move. Well, sometimes they move in sync.
Man. We got it at GME. It's up 47.50 right now. Thanks, Obi, by the way. Neil had a quick appointment, so he'll be back on schedule for tomorrow. So thanks, Obi, for filling in here today on late notice. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so nice little upside move there for AMC still going. I was just reviewing it. So we could talk about this a little bit. We have Rumble, and again, join Adara and I think that's better English. Today on the Market Recap Show, we should have Brian Shannon on from Alpha Trend, so that should be awesome as well to have him come through. Good, he's confirmed, perfect. We will do that. He's coming on, so that should be a good one here. I'll show you the headline right now. This is your Market Recap Show right now. Thank you for putting this together. We'll be talking about Google, AMC, GME. Join me tonight with, where is he? Here he is. At the Alpha Trends right now, Brian Shannon will come and get your questions ready for that. I will like that, of course, and retweet this. And then you want to see my messages? You want me to click on this messages? No. It was probably Michael Noss, because I was like, what the hell are you doing on CNBC, my guy? All right, cool. So right there, let's go back over to what I want to talk about was what was expected today. So we had Rumble coming through. So Rumble right now, still an EPS of minus expected 0.19, so minus 19 cents. It's joined Adara and me. Okay, perfect. Thank you, the Piper, for that one. Their last move was only down 5% expected move, 10.5 on Rumble. To me, this looks like we are trying to set up for a beat again. Nice drop into the 50, the 200, now taking out the 50. There isn't much else, man. There's NXT reporting later on tonight. So, of course, that is Next Tracker. That's not a big name. NXT right here, not a big name, only 4 million shares. They're reporting. We have NU coming through, Nubank or Nucor coming, not Nucor. It's the Nubank Holdings. They're supposed to be the SoFi of, what's going on? .NY, there it is right there. New Holdings, the SoFi of South America. I remember Warren Buffett was talking about that for a minute. He got his money in there. Actually, this one out of daily is, wow. It's not the SoFi. This is like much better than the SoFi. This could be interesting coming through as well. Expectation of 9 cents, so upside move, 7.5%. And then I don't know if this is going to be anything, but GoEV coming through tonight. Again, another name with a little bit of a short float. We'll see if this one can move as well. There's GoEV today, up 9% ahead of earnings. And they're only supposed to lose 97 cents per share. So that should be really exciting. On revenue expected of just north of $1 million. So their last move, Obi, down 28%.
Wow.
For GoEV. So pretty quiet here into the close for me anyways. Still trying to figure out what we want to do as far as some different names. But is there any ideas you're looking at? Were you able to find that early look or?
No,
I don't think it exists anymore.
I could not find it. I usually get it off of Twitter or like X
same.
or something, but couldn't really find it. But you watch the diamonds, right?
Yeah, I love the diamonds.
250 points or 240 points away from highs, roughly there. So pretty much a lot of these markets kind of pushing near their all-time highs. That 40,000, just underneath that 40,000, a little bit of a double top happening there. A push through that, oh boy. And look at that, that dip got bought right back up, right? So it's pretty interesting price action there happening on the longer time frame. Again, on the DJI as well, along with some of these other futures and I guess I'm looking at the Spider as well, ETFs. Things like that. So interesting times we're going through, Sean. And again, with that market, we're talking about this like euphoria coming back in with the meme names. It should be interesting to see what happens this time around, right?
I mean, I think we are sort of getting a little bit of a taste of what's happening right now, and you're getting names like, we've seen Robinhood. I think this was like sort of an undercover name that we talked about yesterday that could see a lot of benefit from this, right? I mean, the more traders that continue to look at memes, they're gonna go over to their platform. You can't just buy options out of thin air, you gotta execute them somewhere. And I do know that Robinhood, despite some of the issues, we know what happened in the past,
they came back.
You know, it's still there. They have a lot of assets under management. We've talked about that as well. And I just think that Robinhood could be a beneficiary of it. So something that maybe we weren't thinking about in the past where can we benefit from a lot of this volume? So you also have CME Group as well. NDAQ is, I know both of these names are on the NYSE, GME, and AMC, but again, NASDAQ, I guess not really doing much, but that one's a pretty flat name. That, again, some of the exchanges, you always talk about, holy GME's at 50, my guy.
Yeah. 50, that interesting level.
Wow. Are we going long or what?
675 on AMC.
Oh, we're in AMC.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You don't.
That's
that
still
one,
going.
that one's,
I mean, it's
we
still
got that
going.
one
It's
on
up
the chain
10
wax
pennies, yeah.
right there. But what we did do was make a decent mistake, I guess. We got out at 47 thinking it was pretty good. Gave up $3 there. We did have the long in GME, so congratulations to everybody out there who still has that. There's our trade right here on GameStop, getting out in this consolidation. The trade was the break of 48 there. Should have, instead of just like talking about the imbalances and all that, we could have got back into this. But the other thing too is, Obi, let's not forget about what we're doing right now as well. We're now 12+% in the money on this last AMC trade. So, I mean, that is the hot dog cannon right there. When you go to the movie theaters, you often don't enjoy hot dogs. That's more of like, you know, you're going to a sporting event.
Yeah.
You know, you got the
Or like
popcorn.
nachos and popcorn.
Yeah, so this is where we get the popcorn. There it is, the popcorn coming out right there. We've got some popcorn right now. We're gonna go long through 50 also. So let's see if we get GME through 50 there. Oh, nope. My order did not trigger because it did not go. All right, I can cancel
We're
my
about to have the imbalances come out.
Oh yeah, the imbalances are coming
about
out right
20
now.
seconds.
Let me take another, should we take another piece out of AMC right now? I mean, this is a nice move. Let's take another piece out of AMC before the imbalances come out. Man, oh man, did we do good on this AMC trade, guys, honestly. That was a great dip buy there at $6. We gave that to you right there. That is 15% in your portfolio in a matter of 30 minutes, less than that, off of that called out level. So thank you so much, Asta. Thank you so much, Jay Lee. Thank you so much, Ritz. We have something called Seanfidence. Oh man, we just missed right there. It broke higher on GameStop. We put our bid in to take out 30s. Unfortunately, it gaps higher. There it is right there. I mean, this is what we're trying to do every day, is sit down here and put some stuff up, and we did that right now with GameStop. Unfortunately, we're still not in it. Imagine we'd have another $10 winner on our hands right now, but there goes GameStop, woulda, coulda, shoulda. At least we got this one. It's AMC is in the building to close out the day, and then AMD, I'm just ho-humming a 50-cent winner on this one as well, as we just probably get out of this. The imbalances are now out. I even forgot to review those. So let's do that right now. Let's only look at the ones that are active. Is there something upside now for GME? Let's just go this. We have to send it by paired value. No, sorry, by size. Let's do that. One more time, sorry. SU, CSX, Apple with a bid sending it higher, Obi. Let's check out Amazon. Okay, Amazon's saying what bid right now and not doing much. Apple, CLVT, I don't know what that is. Apple. Charts not, there it is. Okay, so Apple at high a day, of course, and you just mentioned the market being at
Apple's
high
almost-
a day. The
almost
one that
a
you
1
mentioned.
mil,
Yeah,
yeah.
some names are coming back in a little bit here, right?
Amazon's 1 mil almost as well.
Yeah, so end of the day here, I don't see anything significant on AMC or GME, so I'm not gonna search through them again, but when you're AMC or GME and you're doing like, AMC's doing 600 million shares, any of these are gonna be significant anyways. And then GME, guys, honestly, great trading there. The fact that we had this and then we got that super chat from Willis, shout out to you, Willis. You were right. I talked about it. I said revenge trading, kind of, but thank you for pointing that out to me, because that is something that I do need to work on for sure, it's not about being stubborn, I don't feel like. It's just like, all right, you like the levels, but I've missed so many levels. I mean, you know what it's like, Obi. You get stopped at the high. I mean, we've done that numerous times today.
I did that a couple times today as well.
Maybe not even today. We definitely did it once today. I can't remember the exact stock, but we had done it once, and then now all of a sudden, it's like you see it just drop $1. You're like, oh my God, I had the wrong stop. So then you get back in. As long as you could justify your position, that's what makes me feel better about it. But you guys are right. That is my biggest sort of hurdle to overcome right now. What would you say? Unless you want to take this somewhere else. You tell me if you need a couple minutes at any time, okay?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what would you say would be your number one sort of hurdle right now that you're looking to overcome? Is there one for you, or?
Yeah, kind of just believing in the first entry.
Okay.
Right, like taking, like usually I'm gonna piece into things kind of slowly, and more often than not, I'm finding that my initial entry is probably the best one.
Yep.
And
Okay.
just having the confidence just to push, well, not all my size, but a significant portion of the
So
size.
when you
on
like
that.
it, that's the
Yeah,
one.
just
Don't
take
stop
it, put on the
analyzing
risk
what if
there.
it goes down. Yep.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I'm kind of working on right now. But again, it's a work in progress. Apple's selling off quite strongly there. But yeah, no, I'm trying to come up with different ways to kind of work on that, get better at that. Because like at the same time, I'm like, there's going to be so many opportunities throughout the day. Stats show, like my specific stats show that like I don't have necessarily a specific time where I make a little bit more or less. It's kind of more evened out throughout the day. So I'm like, all right, well, if I put on too much risk in the morning, I'm not going to be alive, or if you know what I mean, not alive for mid to end of day moves more often than not. So I'm like, it doesn't really make sense for me to do that. So that's a bit of a struggle that I'm going through. But again, I'm trying to figure out what really works best for me, so I can start really, I guess, pushing and getting aggressive on something like that. So
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, thanks, Obi, for sharing that. All right, so yeah, we all have those little demons and those little ideas that we're trying to get better with, right? And so I think that that's a perfect example right there. Look at that. So GME there, okay. It was just at $48, by the way, and then it just went to $50. I don't know what kind of size is this could be all right? And again, not financial advice, just trading, looking to see what I'm seeing right now. Why did someone just market this up $2 there? It's not $3.55. We didn't get a flip up there unless it all of a sudden showed up showing, I don't like, that just went, that was at $48. Let me just zoom this back out right now for you just so you guys can see as it's $3.55 in just a minute. This went from $48, honestly, all the way to $50. You can't just do that. You got to put shares and wipe that level. So I wish I could tell you how many shares that order was, but we're only doing like 300,000 a minute, 400,000 a minute. But that felt like that was just a monster order that took that up, because I've not seen GameStop move $2 in the blink of an eye like that. So someone marketed something. So what I'm trying to get at here is this could run after hours. Someone I feel like just got in, or they either covered a big short position, which I don't know if you would cover. I don't know if you'd cover here. Anyways, that was interesting to see that. Let's see what happens. AMC, it looks like we only have right now a 30-cent winner, but everybody knows that was just on this little halt. So we do have what's left. And this is a perfect example of that FIFO that Neil and I always have to explain to everybody. Why does Sean and Neil's prices always change when they get in and out of position? Because see, like right now, this is the same idea, right? Like this was that trade. We got more on the halt at 650. So now when we're getting out, it's just showing the 650. There it is from Jose Mercado. Thank you so much. Right there, Mercado, Jose Mercado, dropping the 50 spot on us. Thank you so much. Jesus Cristo is back in the building. He made it clear bears came for you. Yeah, we're not going to get too religious on that one. But the funny part is that when I sent my daughter to baseball camp, the guy there was Puerto Rican, and he kept saying every time the kids would miss the ball, he'd be like, Jesus Cristo, like that. And I thought it was hilarious. And the next thing I know, I'm driving home with my daughter, and she's telling a story, and she drops the Jesus Cristo. So I thought that was hilarious. So thank you so much, Jose, for that. I hope everybody had a fantastic day. And again, I know we missed a bunch of super chats. Obviously, I'm going to like that one right there. Thank you, my friend. It's hard to get them all. Too bad my watch doesn't count number of words spoken, but every day I think we're like breaking whatever record we had. Plus, we also did, I don't know, Fabian, if it's out yet, or if with that little short that you and I did in there about GameStop. It is out, so on Insta everywhere? On YouTube. So go check a YouTube short. You'll find out. If you can send me the link. Well, anyways. Okay. Let me get it right now. He sent it to me where? In the main chat. There it is right here. Thank you very much. Let me put this on right now. Look at this. Hold on a second. It's just I have to play it. The problem is I'm going to dox ourselves here. Here it is. Black background. Pretty interesting. We do have a brand new podcast area. Come over there. Check it out. Unfortunately, I don't have the link. Maybe Bears versus Bulls. We can get that to you. It just opened up in my normal email, so I'll put it on another section right there, and we'll get going. But interesting, go find it. New YouTube short. Only 2 minutes to go, Obi.
Yes, sir. That's a pretty wild move that we got on the Apple there.
Put it in the chat.
Kind of off of, what was it? Was it a buy imbalance, or I totally forget. It might have been a buy imbalance, sell imbalance, or something. Okay, so thank you, Adara. 3.9 bill to buy, and it gets a nice strong flush on that. Is that even real here? Let me take a quick look. Okay, wow, yeah, damn, that is very real. Holy, look at that nice little flush. So like that's short.
Apple flushy?
That short I was looking for might have come in a little bit later. It could have been a little bit more patient for that. But again, who knows? I did not know that it was going to do this. I don't know who definitely did, but strong flush off of that inbound again. That selling pressure potentially from that morning, maybe coming right back in. Who knows? But strong little flush there. Let's see. Let's take a quick check on some of these other names as well. What did they do? Apple got a flush. I think Goggle got a bit of a flush as well. Softy, nothing really there. Softy held held its levels quite well going into the close there. So yeah, maybe we're going to get some of these levels here. This should be interesting if that 418, 419 level comes in going into tomorrow. That could be interesting, as a lot of that strong selling pressure we saw yesterday came off of those prices from just in the pre-market as well. So we sold off all day, couldn't really get past this 415, and then we break that 415 and hold above those levels going into the close today as well. So it could be something interesting there as well. So with only about 30 seconds left to go,
we just got out of AMC.
What's going on there?
No, some people were asking if we're able to hold things overnight. I would, but I don't have just a small piece of AMC, so we'll get it out right there, right now, to get out of AMC with only now 15 seconds left. GME will close around 49, it looks like. AMC $697. Here we go. The countdown is now on, Obi, as we go. 876. Get it over there. I will see everybody very soon. Obi, finish this off 2 and 1.
Here we go.
All right, I'll go over.
Thank you, Adara. All right, so it's been quite a day. Thank you, Sean, for having me. Neil will be back tomorrow, and yeah. So again, hopefully you guys had an awesome day today. Meme season is definitely back, and a lot of opportunity going short, going long. A lot of different tickers as well. Take a look at what I did last night was I kind of made a filter. I was like, okay, what are the most heavily shorted stocks in the market? Kind of made a list of those. Excuse me, and watching some of those again, and I found that Hollow 75% shorted, a lot of 30% short tickers as well. I think a lot of those tickers definitely on watch, maybe not as competitive as GME or AMC, could be providing some decent opportunities as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a great day, and I think season's just getting started. So we shall see what we have in store. So I don't know if they're ready for us just yet, but yeah, with the market closing near its highs, tomorrow being CPI, let's see what happens, what Papa Powell kind of brings in tomorrow there with those numbers coming out with the Fed. But yeah, only a few points away from all-time highs there on the Spider, on the ES, on the Diamonds as well. The NQ, what's all-time highs on NQ? I don't remember off the top of my head, but we can take a quick look here as Sean is getting ready there. 18,709 on the DAC itself. So everything well within range, but without any further ado, I'm going to pass it off for the market recap with Sean and Adara. Take it easy, guys. See you soon.
Oh man, take it easy. Yeah, that is a good call. Thank you, Obi, for that one, man. We come over here, we run from one desk right over here to another. Man, Adara. Man. Woo. That was wild. So your first meme day was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that tongue out there means bad. How was today? Were you trading any of these names?
I did, and unfortunately, they were all my worst stocks.
Okay.
But I did have some good trades on NVIDIA. This is my first time trading NVIDIA in the live, and that was kind of what I realized yesterday. I went in the sim, had some NVIDIA trades, and I was like, why am I not trading like this in the live, like pourquoi? Pardonnez-moi. So now I'm just trying to trade what worked in the sim, do that in the live. Learned a lot today. Excited to come kick it again tomorrow. Bless you, Ramin.
Thing is, I noticed about Ramin, she's always sneezing like, wow, you know, so then we had to
you're
say blessing,
talking.
so that we could
Yeah.
say her name again. She really wants her name as much as she can in the
That's a
pod.
conspiracy theory.
Thank you. All right, so GameStop right now in the after hours, starting to go back into the downside right now. Here comes GameStop back down to 47 and change, giving a little bit of this up. But what we're going to talk about early, and we're going to go to the rundown right now. I did. I pushed. Well, because you're a little too busy over there, Ramin. Oh, no. There's a button on here that's, okay, thank you so much. Okay, I'll never hit that button again. Right now, the rundown, so it is meme season right now. But this is sector recap first, so there was meme season. We will talk a little bit about that. Let's go over some sectors just real quick. The interesting one here to look at for me anyways, we did have the marijuana ETF, and the reason why we talk about that being a little interesting was, again, a lot of names stuck here are also squeeze names. So nice move up there for MSOS today. And if we flip this over into a daily chart, you could see still stuck in the middle. But if we're going to play meme squeezes, what about looking at the marijuana stocks? Nice move up today, up 2%. What was down? Unfortunately, Adara, we could talk about past earnings. Maybe you want to get the Alibaba numbers quickly and we can maybe run those down. Alibaba, downside move there into $79. Had a nice move up. Again, not a great revenue number for Alibaba. Didn't talk horribly about the business, but again, Adara, back down here to the 200. What do those Alibaba numbers look like? Sending FXI, the big China ETF, to the downside.
Actually, it's the opposite. Revenue was good.
Okay.
EPS was a little bit bad, unfortunately, here. They did also announce annual regular cash dividend for 2024. So about 12.5 cents per share here, or for American Depository share. They also said they're preparing the primary listing in Hong Kong, but in terms of the numbers here, we did get adjusted EPS in RMB here, going to be 1.27. Revenue, though, about 874 million RMB. But yeah, like I said, the issue here was 86% year-over-year decrease in profit. That was the big problem there with Alibaba.
All right, shout out to Chef Joe if you're watching. I'm sending you a message right now as he gets going. So yeah, that was the problem there with Alibaba. Thanks for clarifying that. But there's FXI and Alibaba downside. This is the China 100 ETF. So you're going to get the top 100 names there in China, and then pulling back. For the K-Web is more the internet stock. So again, this one down again today, 0.9, as they all get hit. And then today, USO pulling back just a little bit as well, as we saw some negativity come through in the oil and energy space. So that is, again, USO downside. We could take a look at XLE, the services side of things. I actually like this for the energy sector. Not bad little look, trying to hold the 50-period moving average. I don't mind this one. We do have Brian Shannon come on. Let me just drop an anchor down here at these lows. So we still have 90 bucks coming into play. Often when you're doing these lows and you have this much data, you will get close to the 200 period. So let's watch out for that today. But look at the upside today. I mean, we had a bad print early, right? We talked about that with CPI. The CPI print, PPI print, came in there 0.5 versus 0.3. So if we're going to look over here at the NASDAQ, which is now basically just a stone's throw away from all-time highs. We probably get that tomorrow on anything good. But look at this wick down, Adara. What a disaster it was early, and then we just kept climbing back. I mean, even if we zoom this back out into like a 3-minute chart, you'll see almost instantly bought back up, right? 3-minute chart. The very next 3 is back into that. Then you close the gap, you fill that little close there, and then after that, we're back to the races. Bouncing off the 200 period is the NASDAQ today. So again, ARK having a good day. Surprisingly, a lot of people, we know Brian doesn't like ARK, so I won't mention that to him. The NASDAQ there, 0.6. IBB upside. Have we got any reports flying through? I know there's not any big numbers coming
Supposed to be Rumble.
Today.
I'm going to see
Rumble's
if we got
out?
anything on Rumble. I'm waiting to see if it's out, but we're supposed to get it at 4:05, so we
Looks
should
like
have
it's
it.
going to the
We did
downside.
get it. Okay, so Q1 revenue, 17.7 million. I believe that's lower than the expected. I'm going to check that. We did get, though I know this is lower than the expected,
Right.
EPS here. 21-cent loss. I know we expected 19-cent loss, so that is going to be a miss. They said they're going to continue to move materially towards break even in 2025. So the comments coming there from Rumble. Also worth noting, last night, so less than a day before their earnings report, they filed a suit against Google for some ad competition concerns. So that's another thing to keep an eye on with RUM contextually in addition to earnings.
Well, I'm going to give a big shout out right now to a fan who's watching right now. First of all, shout out to Chef Joe, and a big shout out to Olivia's in Farmingdale, New Jersey. So let's go bang on that one. Big shout out. His name is John. He's watching the show. He's loving it. Shout out to Chef Joe. It's always a good idea to make friends with chefs. You know, lots of benefits there. Shout out to everybody. Thanks, Chef Joe and John. So shout out to you guys there in Farmingdale. Yeah, Rumble downside right now, down to 680, starting to make lows for Rumble. Not too bad. We did have that expected move. What did you say the expected move was? Let me just check that out quickly. Expected move on Rumble, 10.5. So not much going on there. Where's the short float? 17% short with days to cover of 12. So we've learned that that's something special as well. So that's a high number. Would have been nice for them to beat. We'll see what happens now with the Rumble. Potential bounce play tomorrow in and around $6 for Rumble if we get down to the 200 period on 12 days to cover and 17% short. So as we looked at some of these indexes today, the Jets ETF, nice upside move again. We talked about this. Why bother investing in individual airlines when this holds all of them? All the top names, unless you got some sort of, you know, feeling about American or United or Delta. Do you really care?
I personally do not.
As long as it's a Boeing, right?
Oh yeah, as long as it's a Boeing, and as long as it's maybe not Spirit Airlines. You know, maybe we don't want to say in terms of stock perspective anyway.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I don't have a preference.
Yeah, I don't have, no, for me, no. If it's a Boeing, I'm going because I need to get the heck out of here. No, I don't.
Sounds a little bit.
I was thinking this week too. I was like, man, you know, maybe I'll take a day off. You know, it's beautiful weather.
Yeah.
No, taking no day off. You see
The
this
memes
market,
were like,
baby?
Sean, you have to stay.
Yeah, no,
Sean,
we have to be here to trade. These are the best moments to trade. And that's the thing about you going from sim mode into live mode, and then all of a sudden you're experiencing this. You mentioned today, Adara, that it's like an emotional kind of mind, you know, the word I'm potentially looking for. And you have to, I trade P&L, so you can imagine how crazy that is sometimes when you're seeing that light up. But I think the most important thing for you to do is just lower your shares and trade the setups, and don't even worry about live or sim mode because that has really no bearing on anything. That's the biggest problem for many traders is when they start to level up and they say, you know what, I'm live, but I'm only trading 100 shares. I want to trade 200 shares. So what is that next sort of hump that you have to get over? It is a mental sort of game that you're playing with yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is best to hide that P&L.
I think I need to do that.
And just trade based on what you see. Because the best part, I don't know if this is the best part, it hasn't happened to me in forever, but you get auto-flattened anyways. So when you hit your risk level and the shares just come out, then you know you've hit your daily loss limit. So as a beginning trader, that's not a horrible thing to hit your loss limits because it means that you're kind of pushing the envelope. And I actually like that as beginning traders. Just don't do it on a lot of shares. Take your lumps early, understand the strategy, even go back into simulation. And I know that our guest Brian and I have very, very similar thoughts on all of that. So we could talk to him about risk management any day, I am certain. But one thing we're going to do before we call on Brian is let's just take a look at today's heat map. There isn't an overwhelming number of opportunities for earnings today. So what we'll talk about here was we did have major indices work their way to the upside on what was obviously a very eventful Tuesday, including talks from Google. They had their AI event. Fed Chair Powell spoke at 10 o'clock. Alphabet landed at 1 o'clock, I believe it was, for their event. The highest PPI print we've had in over a year, with core PPI and PPI each rising 0.5% for April. Fed Chair Powell echoed many of his earlier sentiments there with a Q&A on the foreign bankers in Amsterdam. They're saying the current policy is sufficiently restrictive. So when I hear stuff like that, I think, what about the banks? Well, the banks go, hey, we only have a few green names today. CB is down there, down here, well, and of course, what is this? DLR downside. But all the big boys, Morgan, AXP, WFC, Burke was down, JP Morgan, Bank of America, all to the upside. So they took the news as good. Amazon as well, trying to get back to all-time highs, going upside. Google on that event, I mean, boom, nice upside move for Google today as well. So far, so good here as we go. But yeah, good good movements today. Q's upside, SPY upside. And if you're going to look at the spiders and you're going to look at it daily, we are now, I mean, I'm seeing like basically all-time highs here of the SPY at like 524, 525. We're at 523 right now. So we could sneeze and push all-time highs, which who would have thought, Adara, and we're going to talk to Brian in a minute about this, who would have thought that we would have had all-time highs considering we've had 0 rate cuts?
It's crazy.
And the Fed has come out to us and said, as of today, the policy seems sufficiently restrictive. So they may not do anything heading into the new year unless we get that print tomorrow that is way hotter than expected. If that is cooler, then they might just be like, hey, we're fine with where we are, leading me to think that this market doesn't even care what the Fed does. I mean, maybe it cut signals weakness in the economy. That could be taken as a bad thing. I don't know. I'd still like a couple cuts.
That'd be nice, yeah.
That is for sure. Is our guy ready? Yep. That is Trader Talk. Let's bring him on. It's Brian Shannon. Whew. Man, Brian, I am exhausted. My number one P&L name yesterday, GameStop. Today, GameStop. It doesn't seem to matter what's moving around. I like to trade price action, and I know a trader like you does that as well. We trade price action. We trade what we see on the charts. Have you been able to see anything these last couple of days, or have you been more hands-off, sort of letting this all settle down?
No, I've been involved in those names as well, Sean, but on a much smaller basis. I've got some really nice swing trades that are working for me, and you know, when I'm in that position where I have some nice swings working, and then I see other things going a little bit crazy here, it's fun to take the day trading hat off the shelf and get in there and mix it up and make some money.
Yeah, no, it's been a wild one. I was muted there. Sorry, Brian. It's been a real wild one here on the show because I really today just focused on AMC and GME. But I know a guy like you, and we've got Michael Noss on from Trade Ideas as well, looking at scanners and really looking, and I know this is what you've talked about on our show before as well, looking for specific setups that might be part of this game. So has there been, you just mentioned looking for different things, and I can see right now you have a stock up that we haven't traded, I don't think, on the show. Do you want to talk a little bit about Car Gurus?
Actually, you know what? I just had that on. I did get long this stock today. I wasn't really planning on talking about it, but I got involved at $24.25. You can see on this daily chart, it's got a nice look to it. The earnings are out of the way. And the weekly chart, it has some room, I think, to run up towards that 27 level. So that's when I got involved in today. And here's the shorter term time frame. It kind of did a whole bunch of nothing to start out and then closed strong. So that's nice to see. But I did want to follow up, Sean, on two things we spoke about last week. Perfect. One, as you know, I was getting long Ethereum, and Ethereum has since broken down, which is why I mentioned that the stop that I was going to use was 29.75. We're now at just under 2,900. So Ethereum no longer of interest until it sets up again.
I mean, I have ETHE here because we were still on Car Gurus here. But if you come over to my screen right now, we did talk about that breakdown. The thing that was interesting to me is the most was when you talked about it potentially turning into the ETF, and then there was that premium built in. So I think when we get that, maybe it's a trade when we get that announcement, and then we can start like the official stamp of approval. Then we can maybe start buying some Ethereum. But I still like the trade. But again, it broke your parameters. So obviously you got out of there, and I can see right now that sort of anchor that you dropped, I guess, on the 13th. Is that a weekly anchor that you have there on your charts?
The week to date I always have on there. Sure, that's the which is now a 2-day volume weighted average price.
Right. And
that black one over there is the month to date. So what's interesting, Sean, is it's still in a downtrend. I mean, it's trapped underneath that 20-day moving average. So I was looking for a bounce. I don't think the real trade, the real bigger move comes until we get this above the 20-day moving average, even above the flat to rising 50-day moving average in Ethereum. So that bounce trade is out of the way. Here's something I pointed out last week, just that in fun. If you keep this one in your mind, just take a look at Ethereum, ETHE, and then look at AMD. I mean, they've been trading almost perfect together, which some people try to make these trades that, this one trades off of that one, but they obviously have nothing to do with each other, but it's just interesting to see.
I've often sort of made the correlation as well that as the NASDAQ goes, you've seen the crypto market go as well. If the NASDAQ pulls back a little bit, crypto tends to pull back. However, NASDAQ being now near all-time highs, Bitcoin still hovering around that 61, 62. So maybe there is potentially a separation there, but I do like sort of looking at that. Brian, you can't, I know you're great on the fly here. I'm going to ask you about GameStop. Everybody in the chat wants to know, where are Brian's levels of concern, maybe to the downside and to the upside? I've just highlighted right here for me, just a simpleton coming through. We held $40 today. So that was a level right there that I'm thinking we jumped up there. We had that marker, huge move in the pre-market. Forget about all this. I mean, we know you can't halt in the pre-market. There's going to be some upside. But again, maybe as you look for different price levels, we can indicate something up there in and around 70. But for me, I think as long as we hold 40, we could possibly see some more upside. But let's not get too carried away right now. We do know that this is obviously fueled by some sort of a roaring kitty sitting from here to here in his chair. So I don't know if this is going to extend anymore, but for me, I'm going to have it on our sticky note tomorrow as long as we're above 40. Is there anything that interests Mr. Brian Shannon at Alpha Trends on GameStop?
Well, I think, you look at the week to date volume weighted average price, and we came down and probed that today, and that's where it bounced from. So once you start to bounce away from that level, you want to look at your anchor off of that low. And you can see that on this 15-minute time frame, we didn't close below that. So we were finding buyers along that, and then we got back above the volume weighted average price from the open just here at the end of the day. After hours, I see we're up at 54, so still getting a little bit of bounce. I think tomorrow, if you saw something like this, that it maybe bounces a little bit in the morning, sells off, comes down to this level, recaptures the 1 and 2 day VWAP, then you're off to the races again. Otherwise, instead, if it does this, well, then get the hell out of the way, because it could get ugly to the downside.
Yeah, good call on that one. I mean, there's a lot of people in the chat who are like, some are bulls, some are bears, but that's just crazy when you analyze some of these moves. We actually flipped over and traded some AMC today as well. That was wild. 13 down to 6, closing in and around 7, an absolute monster day for some of these crazy, crazy stocks. I'm going to pass you over to Adara, who has a quick question about an earnings play.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian. So we do have Walmart earnings coming on Thursday before the open. This is actually going to be their first report since that split we had in February. Do you have any thoughts on this stock heading into that report? Any potential plays there?
It tried to break out yesterday, it looks like, but couldn't hold that. I kind of view Walmart as just a slow, steady grind stock higher, not really the best trading opportunity in there. If we get a deeper pullback down towards the year-to-date anchor, that's at about 58, then I think that's probably where you'll see it try to find some support and then perhaps bounce up. But basically, I'm not really too interested in looking at Walmart personally, Adira.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate you looking at look for us.
You know what scared me, sorry to interrupt there, Brian, was that this Walmart, this RSI, and we talked about this with Michael Noss yesterday about RSI and how it can be looked at differently and whatnot. But if you come over to my screen here, just real quick, we do have a move down in the RSI on Walmart on the daily. Meanwhile, we're still kind of holding these highs. Like that to me is something. Does this mean anything to you? I mean, we're bouncing off some of those 70 levels. Textbooks will tell you 70, 75, 80, depending on where your settings are for RSI. But we topped out there, and then now we're kind of still near those highs in and around 61, 62, although you just said we failed at that top, which was correct. But now we're starting to head to the downside. Is this a worry spot at all? I know it doesn't interest you too much, but I'm worried. I was thinking about getting into Walmart. I'd rather wait for the report and then see the reaction. Any comments on RSI there like this?
Well, two things. One, I would wait for the report as well. And then the RSI, it's a good tool to use, and it can give you sometimes an early warning. I don't know if you saw my tweet today, Sean, about the volume, and I put the SPY up there. I said, here's my poem about volume, only price pays.
Right.
When you look at the SPY and the volume we've seen on this rally the last 2 weeks, this market has rallied very nicely, 5%, but the volume has dropped off almost every single day. And a lot of people say, hey, yeah, but it's up on low volume, so it doesn't count or whatever. But as a trader, price-based trader, only price pays. And that's a good reason to look at the market and say, hey, maybe something's going on underneath the surface, and I need to be a little bit extra alert that we might break down. But until prices do actually break down, the low volume is just an interesting thing to talk about on Twitter, if that's what interests you. I'm personally not interested. I'm interested in, hey, prices are going higher. We're still above the rising 5-day moving average. Doesn't matter if it's heavy volume, light volume, or somewhere in between.
So I'm dropping, yeah, I mean, excellent point. Make sure everyone follows you at Alpha Trends. I mean, I didn't even recognize that. That's awesome. I get nervous when I see that because it's right. Why are they not coming in and putting up the same share size that they were in the past couple weeks and days into this rally? Very, very interesting. I like that look for sure. I just dropped, Brian, an anchored VWAP on a big stock that has yet to report. It is next week. It is May 22nd. It is NVIDIA. Was that dramatic enough? So if you come over to the chart there, I just dropped a year-to-date anchor on this one. You nailed NVIDIA many times on this show before. I think it was 460 or something. You were live. You're like, you know what, guys? It could bounce off this 460, and it did exactly that. But Brian, on here, we've already bounced, from what I can see on a year-to-date anchor VWAP, right here in April 19th. What a crazy move that was, and it nailed it almost to the dollar at 750. Now the bounce back to the upside again with, I know I keep talking about RSI, but that's starting to go back to the upside. We're bouncing off the 50-period moving average. I don't know if there's you're probably going to be able to find a better chart, but if to go long, I really think this is sort of gearing up for that run at 1,000. Nice bounce there off the anchor, holding the 50-period over this week. Now it looks like we want to get higher. How does NVIDIA look to you heading into earnings?
Yeah, it looks great. It's forming a little launch pad is what it looks like to me, just the last 6, 7 sessions. And it's holding above the anchor from both of these highs earlier in this year, the one on March 8th, and then this high over here on March 25th. The purple anchor is from the 8th, and the red one is from the 25th. As you mentioned, you've got the 50-day moving average, you've got the 20-day moving average in there. So this becomes a very important level for it to hold. It's this prior band of resistance, which had been support as well. So, breaking from here, it just looks, it almost, Sean, when the charts look this good, they kind of make me nervous because they look too good to be true.
Right.
But, accept them at face value. And NVIDIA, certainly has the fundamentals to back it up, and looks like buyers are back in control and getting ready, like you said, to push it out towards 1,000.
It's funny because even today when Google has their AI event, they're just talking like, all right, we've just bought all these NVIDIA chips, we're building on top of them. And it's just like, okay. I just want to give a big shout out to you on our chat. We have over 3,000 watching right now. And Rivian Millionaire, although me and you went back and forth about Rivian last week, Brian, and I appreciate that note that you sent, but Rivian Millionaire rate says that Brian has really changed the way he bought stocks. The anchored VWAP has changed the way he's bought in stocks, and he wants to say a big thank you to you, Brian, for that. So Rivian Millionaire on our chat, and here it is right here. Come over to my screen. And I know you never asked me to do it, but there it is right there, anchored VWAP. Go grab that right now on Google Play. I just clicked on the link in your Twitter X, I guess, right there. So go find
you. And Sean, I'll point out, I was not bullish on Rivian. I said I wouldn't trade it for a swing trade, but it's up, quite nicely, actually, about 20% since then. So kudos to you. You were saying you liked it as a swing. I said I wouldn't go near because it's got the declining moving averages. But you know what? I didn't lose any money on it. Hopefully, I didn't cost you any.
People know around here, sometimes I like when I get the credit. So that would be a really good one right there. Thank you for that, Brian, for bringing that up. But you know what? We always say this, the sun shines on, some part of your body twice a day. So maybe that might have happened right there again for us today. Okay, just quickly before, and again, thank you so much for joining us on such a busy day. Was there any names that potentially maybe you've just gotten into, or is there a stock that you've brought into our attention or the last little while that you want to talk about? Something maybe in the therapeutics, you've talked a lot about that on the show. So is there anything right now that you want to just sort of identify to our viewers that you're potentially looking at here moving forward?
Yeah, so a couple of things about that stock, TGTX, Target Therapeutics. They reported earnings at the beginning of the month, actually the first day of the month, and that was on May 1st. And the thing is that coming into that earnings report, there were 35.7 million shares short, and we spoke a little bit about the prices that they established those short positions at. We just got the new short interest numbers on May 9th. So it's kind of crazy, Sean, and really kind of annoying that when you look at short interest numbers, the short interest numbers were released on May 9th, were from the date of April 30th. So as of April 30th, so between April 15th and April 30th, they went from 35.7 million shares to 37.8. So they added another 2.1 million shares from the 15th to the 30th. So that can't feel good. But we don't know what happened in here. And that's kind of annoying that the short interest data is always stale. The good news is, though, with 37.8 million shares and 26% of the float, they're not out of this thing. I like this stock up to the low 20s, probably to hit a new year to 52-week high here in the next coming weeks. I think it can do it with that big short position. So I'm holding on to my long position in here, and actually I will look to I've trade around it a little bit, but I want to get a little bit heavier actually.
No, I do like that. And the thing about it, too, it's in the right sector because, I mean, if they announce something here, TG Therapeutics engages in the acquisition, development, and commercialization of novel treatments for B cells. So, I mean, at any day, maybe something happens with them. So I really like that look there. And here it is right there, shows that saying 154 million shares. So, okay, I mean, great time today. Oh, I don't want to show you this. ARC today up 2%. We were talking about that earlier.
That's because all the garbage was rallying.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, we've saw a lot of different rally names today, including different ones like Affirm was starting to go to the upside. We saw FFIE, some of these other names. I don't know if they're involved in Faraday futures, but again, some names starting to go. ARC. It's funny that you can't short ETFs. I guess there's an SARC. As ARC, we know, to get into that, so you can get into SARC for sure. All right, I mean, I'm not going to take Q&A. There's so many on the chat, but we got to wrap this thing up in and around 4:30. One more thing I wanted to ask you about. I see you're flipping around there. We did have some people, so I'm just going to cherry pick you right now. Coinbase looks like it's breaking. It didn't take too long to get back down to 200 now, did it? And I know that Bitcoin has also fallen back in, but here comes Coinbase. There's another stock like Mara that I know a few of the traders were trading here today. Some of these names pulling back into some levels. We have Hut 8 tomorrow reporting as well, coming into some lows. What does this look like? And I know you've talked about Ethereum and we sort of got off that trade, but Coinbase I can see coming into some key levels as well, around 200. Are all of these stay away for now and just watch BTC? What do you think about Coinbase or anything else in this space?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty difficult for these things to make any headway with Bitcoin under pressure still. Bitcoin's still holding that anchor from the year-to-date low. But I think it's likely, the more times we hit on that, it's likely to come down towards about 57,000 at the year-to-date anchor. The one good thing about Coinbase is it's holding the year-to-date anchored VWAP. I'll tell you a crazy story about Coinbase is that our favorite fund manager loaded the boat way over here and has an average cost basis of about $250 per share. And that fund manager took their position from 8 million shares to 4 million shares over here, sold a few at a profitable, but is continuing to sell there. So complete round trip, didn't even break even on it, and still one of the largest positions in that fund that you had mentioned previously.
I mean, there is a point too of being wrong, but then staying wrong, right? And so we'll see if that can rally. And
great consistency. You got to admire it.
You got it. You have to. Okay. On that note, maybe she's long GME. We'll find out. We'll find out. Maybe that's part of the push up there. But thank you so much. Anything you want to talk about? Do you have anything? Any live streams coming up or anything?
No, I've got nothing going on. It's just looking forward to being here with you guys next Tuesday again, Sean.
Perfect. Well, hey, maybe we'll get you on even earlier. Thank you so much, Brian. Again, everyone can go find you at Alpha Trends. That's Brian Shannon, of course, a great friend of the show. Everyone stays late, as real traders do, and I appreciate for you doing that with us right here. It's Brian Shannon. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon, Brian.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Adara.
Ciao. That's Trader Talk, baby. I mean, you just want to talk about a class act, honestly.
Yeah.
You can bring up anything to this guy. I'll give you the goods, talk all about that. And then as you can see, that TG Therapeutics, I think that does have a great chance. Good analysis there about the short float, adding to it, and potentially getting caught into a squeeze. And I don't want people to mistake the fact that it's also that sector too, because you know, when you're in pharmaceuticals, literally anything can happen, and the next thing you know, you're a buyout candidate or you've reported something and it is off. I mean, that could happen in any business.
That's true.
Tends to be more in that sector than others. And I know that for firsthand because Neil, and he talks about this on the show, will sometimes trade buyouts. So a lot of those companies get bought out. So you could definitely see 60% increase, something like that, and all of a sudden, you know, the shorts are like, uh-oh, what are we going to do? So right there, thank you again. A big shout out to Brian for coming through with that one. All right, on today's sticky note, we didn't even have a monster sticky note whatsoever today because we were scrambling. We were just saying, hey, there's the walk, talk, and stock. Go find that out right now. Oh, 3,000 viewed that. Thank you so much for that. Today was really, really simple. Missed opportunity today, 21.25 break on Palantir. AMD short, nah, that didn't really work. It worked late. We wound up on AMD. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then AMC, we just had to focus here, and we could talk a little bit about that. Watch the 13 long break as a possibility, but generally keep focused. We were logged 1034 early. The Google event up there and the hot PPI event. Market down, bearish. Wow, market finished at the highs. So for some of those comments, we'll slap a fail on it. But I just want to go over some AMD real quick because to me, we've already talked about AMC. We've talked about GME. Those were huge trades today for sure. And we were up on the meme stocks. This was interesting to me because AMD started the day, huge move down. And the reason why we liked 5150 was just kind of into here. These were some of these tops just kind of stuck in here. I just thought that if we're going to open the day down here at 149, a nice little bump up into some of these areas was what we wanted to short. But what we want, sometimes we don't get. So when it pops up into there, here's 5150. Now and let's just zoom in here because we don't have anything on the show if we don't have integrity. So we talked about making a wick top on AMC, on GME, but it was AMD. That was what I forgot. So as we go short into this, just baby shares here into opening range high, because again, we moved down about $2, bumped back into the opening range high, so we started the short. We weren't even worried at all. Then we started putting on real shares up here at 5150, and unfortunately, we have to have an out Adara, and that was at 52. But look what happened as soon as we got out. It came right back in, right into the levels of 5150. So thankfully, we actually reshorted.
That's good.
So that was good. Thank you. Nice move back in. Then we shorted it again. Boom, back down into the downside. So made all this money back. Shorted it again. Took a little bit out. Then got stopped. Let this thing run. And then this is really where a lot of the money was made. We reshorted into 152.50. So bring it all the way back. 150.95. Like that's a $1.50 winner. Get stopped out there. Get stopped out there. Back into this again. So what was just a long day for us wounds up in a nice short at the final top. A bunch of battles back. Didn't really trade this one properly, but AMD again winds up a green stock, but very, very frustrating at the end of the day there for that. And then look, just to review quickly before we let everyone go, it's 4:35. GameStop here in the after hours continues to go. I mean, we were long right there, $42, Adara.
That's a great.
We got out at 47. It's now 54. Those of you that heard me talk about this, I said we got to get long GameStop into the close. I mean, there it is, taking out $54. Let's go. Let's see what AMC is doing before we let you go. AMC 750, very similar actions there into the close. Adara, in 3 words, how was this day?
Wild, unpredictable. Oh, yeah, bamboozling. I'm going to let Ramin pick the last word, bamboozling. Thank you, Ramin.
I like that. Your 3 words right there. Join us tomorrow. We're going to take it easy. You know, won't yell. You know, I was gonna say won't yell at the kids. I never really yell at the kids. But my throat is, leave that to the wife. Throat's got to come back here. We'll be back tomorrow. It should be another wild day.
I'm excited.
I mean, we're not stopping.
Oh no.
Like
Oh,
so
no.
tonight, like you just want to like, you know, put down, lay that head down, think about GME, think about AMC, and think about Trader TV Live.
That was a great send-off. That was awesome.
We will see everybody tomorrow at Trader TV Sean, at Trader TV Adara. See you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, everybody.
Night.